Spirit of God, come into our lives with the power of a mighty wind. By the flame of your wisdom, open the horizons of our minds and our hearts. During this time of deliberation, keep us awake and alert to the present and alive to the possibilities of the future. Free us from narrow enthusiasm for our own views and give us a listening heart. Gift us with a taste for what is right and true to enable us to make the right choices in the light of the gospel values. Loosen our tongues to let you speak through us. May we allow your presence and power in our lives, and especially in this, our Board of Supervisors meeting. We make our prayer in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father. It's beautiful. Supervisor Rocco, you want to lead some pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a full agenda today, so we're going to try to make this as expedient as possible. We're going to start with a hearing to receive comments regarding Harrison County's proposed budget for 2023-2024. Anyone would like to make comments or questions from the public? Yes, sir. Would you like to join us?
About the budget, right, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Just come right up here and give me your name and address, please.
Yes, ma'am. My name's Anthony Allen. Address is 264 Alexander Road, apartment 11 in Long Beach.
Okay.
And I'm wanting to know, how much are we sending to the sheriff's department?
I don't have that in front of me. We'd have to ask Pam.
I don't think it's broken. I think I have that broken down.
Because I'm starting to see services not rendered. We got a jail that we can't use. We can't lock nobody up with misdemeanor offenses. We got crime going on the coast that can't get punished. I'm wanting to know what we're paying for.
In the proposed budget, we have a budget of $28 million.
Okay, $28 million, and I can go steal $400 worth of stuff from a business, and I won't even go to jail for it.
Go try it. We'll see what happens. I promise you, you're gonna go to jail for it. I don't know what myth that you have that thinks that we don't put misdemeanors in jail, but we put misdemeanors in jail every day. Gulfport has 40, Biloxi has 40, everybody else has 25. That's about 150 people they put in jail a day, every day. So the fact that you believe that misdemeanors don't go to jail is a myth, 100%.
Yeah,
Thank
that was
you.
my question. Thank you,
Okay,
Ms. Powers.
thank you so much. And our budget is public information, so it'll be online too.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Allen. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, number 2, recognizing residents of,
I
I'm
have
sorry.
a question.
I'm
The issue
sorry.
on the budget,
Discussion,
too,
yes,
sir. Make sure they're through. No more.
any other public comment on our budget proposal? Okay.
Yeah, Pam, on the budget, you had listed department head salaries when we discussed.
Yeah, that's the ones for the
All right,
7%.
are these salaries present salaries, or are they
So that's
salaries?
with the 7%. You had another one that had the present salary. That's with the 7%.
That's with the
If that's
7%.
what you got in there.
Okay, there's a problem on your
Let me go see
assistant
what
road
you-
managers. Make sure that's the right one. There's a problem on your assistant road managers. You had them listed at $69,550.
Yes.
So
That was, y'all had approved for them to go to 65, and then that was the 7% on top of the 65.
When did we approve them to go to 65?
It was discussed in Biloxi in one of the meetings in Biloxi. I think when he presented
Well,
the
then
budget.
what we're doing, I want the board to recognize what we're doing. If that's the case, we're giving them close to 15% pay raise.
That's up to the board, but that's what, whenever it was presented, y'all said it was okay to go to 65. So then when I put it in.
I
and
don't,
do the
I
7%.
don't recall that, I can't say what they did, but
Yeah, I think we did, but I mean, with you, I think we just keep it at 65.
you approved to go to 65, well, that 65 is.
That would be, yeah, about a $5,000 raise.
That would-
So that would be over 5%.
That would be over the 7%. That would be,
That would-
7% would be a $4,218 pay raise. Now you're giving them another
Not me.
7%. Well, according to what,
I'm going by what it had on there. So that's.
I'm simply telling you that if these figures are approved today in the budget, they're getting up close to a 15% pay raise.
Today is just one public hearing. We have another public hearing as well next week.
Well, I want this clarified. That's what I'm
That-
asking.
Yeah, that's for y'all.
Are you aware, I'm asking the board, are you aware of that?
I was aware that we was gonna bring them all up to 65, but we don't have to do that 7%.
Huh?
65 is over
You might have been on the
7%.
phone. It was one in below.
It's not a 7%, it's over 7%, and then on top of that, if you approve that what's in the budget today, it'll be close to a 15% pay raise. Because if you approve $69,550, that's close to 15%. So I think before that's approved, we need, I don't have a problem with 7%, we've all agreed to that.
Right.
That, and of course, the two additional ones
So
that
that, yeah, theirs
exceeded
would be
that,
a little more
that
than
the board
7%.
voted on. But you're talking about a 15% pay raise
That'd be a lot more
for
than
those
7%.
particular employees. And I don't think that's what the intention of the board is, but unless I'm corrected on it.
No, I believed it was 7%. I didn't believe it would be 15.
Then the 7% would be roughly,
Why don't we pull
It
the
would go
minutes? Can we
to-
have
Yeah,
pull the
we-
minutes?
It would go to
Check it out.
65.
I don't think that
Flat
was
65
there.
or just give the 7%?
well, the 7% would be $4,218. That would be the 7% pay raise, which I was under the impression. We sat right here, every department head that came before this board during our discussions and
And
reference
this
to
was
the budget,
early on.
were told everybody was gonna get 7%.
And this was early on, this was before the 7% was.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we need that corrected then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just want to point that out.
thank you. Anything further on the budget? All right, number 2, recognizing residents of Audubon Lake subdivision to discuss fire safety concerns located in District 2. Do you want to have 2 of you join us? Do you want to speak? Linda?
Can I stand right here?
Yes.
Okay, this is for copies for everybody.
Thank you.
My name is Linda Moss from Audubon Lake. We had several things to say, and I didn't want to forget anything, and I didn't want to try to get up here and stutter and stammer, so I'm just going to read the letter.
Linda, give me your address, please.
My address is 14779 Audubon Lake Boulevard.
Are you the only one here speaking? I know you have a large group.
Well, there's others here from the subdivision, but I might be the only one who's speaking. Am I?
I'd like to say
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at you, I thought you, because I know I've met with y'all many times, so I know that you are.
Yeah.
So if you would, just for time's sake, could you summarize everything in 5 minutes, please? And then I'll give Mr. Tony, right? Give you 5 minutes as well. Go ahead.
Sure.
And speak loudly, please.
Sure. Our subdivision is approximately 162 dwellings. We presently, there's more being built. And right now, the building is in violation of the 2021 edition, section D 107.1 of the fire code. There's only supposed to be, we only have one access road in and out. And there's the basic bottom line is we have one access road in and out, and there's nearly 200 houses down there. And it's a huge concern, and not only that, it's a violation of the code. And we don't understand how it got passed where, the building just keeps continuing. So demographically, our subdivision partially consists of disabled veterans, elderly citizens, and at least one resident who is hearing impaired. Audubon Lake subdivision residents do not oppose development. However, we strongly desire safety and legal compliance. We're simply asking that further building ceases until an additional fire apparatus access road is in compliance with the IFC and is fully and completely functional. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. All right, Mr. Tony?
You want me up there?
Yes, please, and just give us your address, it's just for the record.
Okay. I don't need a microphone. Anthony Delino, 14738 Audubon Lake Boulevard. Our concern is that in lieu of the news, and everybody's seen it, with fires and gas leaks and propane or natural gas houses blowing up, we're in the back section of Audubon Lake, maybe a quarter of a mile, maybe. So you have houses in front of us, one entrance, that's it, 200 homes. If one of those propane tanks blow up, we're done. We can't get out, there's nowhere to go. If there's a fire, we can't get out, there's nowhere to go. And like Linda said, there's a lot of elderly people, I'm one of them. Most of the people live in the retired military. You know, they have heart attacks, they have this, you can't get an ambulance in. So if there's an explosion in the front, with all the debris, even if it doesn't reach us, you couldn't get service to us if we needed it. And that's our complaint.
Thank you so much. So Tim, Fire Chief Pat Sullivan, I asked him to go out there and look, and he agreed with them that, and I see many of them here, agreed that it is not up to code, current code. Now in 2005, I believe, we allowed them, but rules have changed. So they can't be grandfathered when it comes to a public safety concern, right?
There's two issues, and we met with both, not Pat, but Skip.
Fire Marshal.
There you
Oh,
go.
I didn't realize you were here, Skip, I'm sorry.
We met with Skip, we also met with Jackie. There's two different issues. One is the subdivision code this subdivision was built in 2005, 2007. At that time, you were only required to have one entrance and exit. And so, by the code, that is grandfathered, that can't be changed. You cannot force them to do a new entrance. And looking at it, there wasn't a way that Jackie could see that you could do another entrance. The fire code is a little bit different in that was adopted in 2007. Fire code says that if you do not have a second entrance, the houses must be sprinklered. In other words, they don't have to have a second entrance. The option is to put sprinklers in the houses, residential sprinklers. Now, that's been interpreted in the past, correct me if I'm wrong, Skid, the way that's been interpreted is you look at the time that the subdivision was developed to determine whether that fire code applied or not. Okay, and that it didn't apply at the time this one was developed. I'm not certain I agree with that. I think that applies to a building permit. So, but that doesn't solve their problem.
Right.
That would only apply to any new construction in the subdivision, not to existing structures unless the board, and that's something the board's gonna have to decide as a board. The interpretation is that, now they have applied it now going forward for any new subdivision that doesn't have a second entrance, the house is supposed to be sprinkled.
And who has to pay for the sprinklers? The builder?
Whoever's building it.
It'd be part of the cost to the owners.
Cost to the owners, but the most of the, I think what's happened, and since any new subdivisions are all, they have the option if they have a second entrance, they don't have to have sprinklers.
Right.
So most subdivisions today are built with a second entrance so that you don't have to sprinkle the houses. In this subdivision, I think there are 30, there's a phase 3, it's like 30 or 40 houses.
Right, 13 are currently being built and 34 more could be.
And so, the only thing the code would require, if it's enforced in that manner, is that those houses be sprinklered, which is not gonna solve the issue with the remainder of the subdivision. So the issue about a second entrance is grandfathered in that the subdivision was done at a time that was not required. Now, I talked to Jackie, and Tricia and I both talked to Jackie, and we also talked to Skip. One of the things the board could look at is not going to solve this subdivision's problem. As I see it, there's a problem in that these subdivisions are like this one was done in 2005, 2007 timeframe. And that's been almost 20 years ago. And so they're still building the subdivision.
there could be where these conditional use permits that allow the subdivision have a time limit on them, so that if they don't build out within a certain time frame, then any future development has to comply with the current codes, including subdivision codes. That will require a change in your ordinance. That's not gonna solve Audubon Place's issues, but it was maybe prevent it from happening in the future.
Madam President?
Yes, go.
But since this is new construction that's changed from the grandfather, could we not, it shouldn't be grandfathered, right?
No, the buildings are not grandfathered. Any new construction would have to comply with the code. There's no question about that.
Okay.
The only thing that was grandfathered is the subdivision development itself, that is, the platting of the subdivision. At the time it was platted, there was not a second entrance required, only one. That you cannot go back and change. The fire code is different. It applies to the new construction, in my opinion. Now, in the past, that's been interpreted to mean you look to the time that the subdivision was developed as to whether or not you require sprinklers or not. That's something the board is gonna have to decide, because there is a consequence to that. People are gonna come and scream and holler about having to go back and put sprinklers in houses that didn't have to do it before, so.
We do require for new construction.
Right, on
Even-
new construction.
Even in an old subdivision,
That's
we
right.
do require for new construction.
Under a new subdivision
That won't help
development,
these people.
Right.
it won't help Audubon. Well, it'll help those 30 or 40 houses.
But I think my question is, there's 25 lots here, and they don't look like on this piece of paper that I have. Do you have this? It doesn't look like they were platted at the time. Maybe it was used for us.
I was shown a plat by Jackie, an actual plat. It was part of the phases of the original approval. as I understand.
It showed the little lines like houses and all
It
that.
was like, Jackie, you here? Folks, and folks. I didn't look at the subject. Jackie may be able to answer that question. When was it platted? 07 or 05?
The plats were phased over the course of years, but the conditional use that approved that number of lots was in 2005 or 6.
So it was platted. The problem is that this was platted in 2005. We're in 2023 and it's still being built. And so there could be, I think the board would have to change the ordinance. Again, it doesn't satisfy Audubon where you have this long period of time that could be required to either build it out within a period of time, or they're gonna have to, and the conditional use would go away, and they'd have to apply for a new one. That way you would encourage development without, I mean, it seems to me there's a problem here that they go out and plat these subdivisions, and then it's 20 years before they build any houses. So you're avoiding complying with the current codes when you do that. Or, not the fire codes, that applies to the building, in my opinion. Although
This was
it's-
after Katrina, so it was
Yes.
this 05,
Right.
right after, looks like.
Everybody was looking for houses,
Yeah,
but
housing.
there still could be a time limit that you have to comply with it. You have to, I'll call it enact your conditional use permit, start building, start developing. And so if they don't do that, they'd have to come back and reapply, and if that included having a second entrance, they would have a problem.
Well, and they absolutely should, because I can't get a license for something and in 20 years it'd still be the same. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
but it ain't gonna solve this problem. This is a.
but in general,
Right, in
there
general.
needs to be a 3-year limit.
Well, I think now they've got, the subdivision requires a
Even
second
5
entrance if
would
they
be-
don't have sprinklers. So that's already solved that issue.
So we need to do a motion for an ordinance that they have to have sprinklers, or
Well,
we
just
just be.
investigate it. Let the zoning and building code and
Investigate.
the engineers make a recommendation as to how to handle it. We met for a couple of hours. I wouldn't say that was a great analysis of it, just a kind of overall picture of how do you solve this problem.
Again, may I ask?
Yes, of course.
Jackie, is there any way for them to put a second entrance in here?
I don't see one that would not involve taking property from private citizens to connect to another road. I may be overlooking something. But every potential connection would involve going over somebody else's private property.
Yes, you'd have to have an easement or
The
something.
back or the front, these, where they want to add there's no
I don't see a connection. Everything that borders that subdivision is private property, and you have to take property to build a road.
But the builder could offer to buy a little land from these folks,
Yes, it could.
because building 34 more homes, there's 13 already being built currently, and then I don't feel good about their safety. I really don't. I believe it's a safety concern.
Can I say something?
Please.
Mr. President? The road going in there, that's an old subdivision, and the road going in there is not as wide as it should be. I think they can agree with that, so it's a smaller road going in there. We don't have, from a law enforcement standpoint, we don't have, very rarely do we go in there at all for calls. It's a good subdivision, there's a lot of good people that live there. You know, Tim's right, every subdivision now has a second entrance just for fire trucks. So if you get something that happens in there, you're gonna be bottlenecked with law enforcement and fire services just getting to the residents. You're gonna be bottlenecked prior to even getting to the house. So it's an issue.
Thank you, Sharon. Come on up. 2 more minutes, please, and then we're gonna move on.
Just going off what the sheriff had said, in the middle, there's one way out, one way in, but in the middle is a big bunch of plants and trees, and just for beauty and a sales purpose. Could they just knock that down and widen the entrance? And make it big enough for fire engines to get in? Or half the side is blocked up, at least we can get emergency vehicles in there. I mean, I know what he's saying, you know, well, that's just the way it is, but there's a lot of old people living there. You know, I mean, everybody gets heart attacks. The sheriff can't get in there. I've seen them cars. I mean, they just can't get in there.
Yeah.
And especially if you park on the street, they have no way of going, and they have small vehicles. A fire engine or an ambulance is not getting in there. So there's a main piece right in the middle. I don't know, maybe
Okay,
knock
that's
it
an
down
idea. Thank
and
you.
put a road up.
We'll mention it, maybe Jackie, next time you're out there, if you want to look at what they're talking about and see if it would be, I don't know if we can make them widen.
Can we just do some investigation on it
Yeah.
and kind of look at every alternative we might have, and then,
Yeah. Okay.
won't be an immediate fix, but they're not building these additional homes immediately either, are
Right.
they? Are they?
They're currently working on 13, I believe, and they have 34 more possible lots.
Is the developer here?
Yes.
Oh. Would you like to join us? I apologize, I didn't know.
No,
you
you're
were
fine,
here.
you're fine.
Give me your
Hi,
name and
Jonathan
address,
Hayward,
please.
Elliott Homes.
What's your address, please?
2230 Beach Boulevard, condo number 806. So we actually only have 27 left to sell. The other ones are already pre-sold. We've actually got every house permitted in the neighborhood. And we're getting ready to start in the next 60 days, all the rest of the houses.
Have you looked at the property to see if there's another exit for you?
Yeah, we've looked every which way and they're all deadlocked, because what we would like to do is, it would have been great if we could add on to it and add another community next to it, but yeah, it's completely deadlocked all the way through that neighborhood.
Have you reached out to all of these landowners and asked if you could possibly buy just a 20-foot
No, we have not, because
strip?
when we got this approved, it never was brought up to us until recently. You need a second entrance, so we have a land department trying to buy land, but just looking at the size of the lots around it to expand the neighborhood or add a new community, they weren't big enough to make another neighborhood for us, so.
Isn't the owner that owns the property south, I thought she was gonna be here today, that owns the property south of phase 3?
Yes, sir.
Is it Ms. Garcia?
I don't think she's present.
I know she had some complaints about water going onto her property. I thought she was.
Yeah, we fixed that a year ago.
No, she sent me pictures 2 days ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would like to get your number, please, so I could,
Oh, you want me to give you a card for it?
that'd be great if
You
I could
got it.
have your card.
So yeah, we've looked at doing that, and so we've got 27 lots left to sell in the neighborhood. The other ones are already sold, and those are getting ready to start. So every house in the neighborhood left, we have permits in hand, we're gonna start them all.
You said you have a land department trying to buy land, but you hadn't asked Ms. Garcia.
No, the plots aren't big enough to add on to it, so,
Just for a road, not for more houses.
we never looked at adding a road because it wasn't required to get our permits. When we went in to build the rest of that neighborhood, because we built before in the previous phases, we didn't have an issue with
Yeah, that's a good point.
the fire or anything else, so until last week is the first we've heard of it.
When did you finish this last lot? I mean, the last house in this, I mean, has it been since '05 that you built anything?
Yeah, we built stuff, just coming in there, we did in phase 2, we built quite a few houses in there originally, yep.
All right,
So
we're
we've been
gonna-
in the neighborhood for a while.
All right, we'll do some research and our engineers will look into it.
Thank you.
I'd love your
I'll
call.
do that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Any further discussion? Board?
Supply and demand is what they're doing.
Yeah. We really do need to move on.
Yeah, it's just one quick thing. Why does the sprinklers gotta be used? I mean, that's like commercial use of it.
Well, that's a legal thing.
That's a strange thing, but.
It's a residential sprinkler system.
It's residential.
Yeah, I
sprinklers.
understand what you're saying, but it just seems strange to solve
It
the
is
problem,
strange.
not to solve the problem.
No, you,
Okay, thank you.
it won't
Thank
solve
you.
your problem unfortunately, just the code, that's the code that everybody's talking about.
I got you.
It's
All right.
being violated, that they're not putting sprinkler codes in for sprinklers.
All right, thank you. Moving on, recognizing Mr. Wayne O'Neill to discuss his neighbor digging a pond adjacent to his property. This is located in District 3.
Okay, my name is Wayne O'Neill. I live at 11070 Darrow Road. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to go out there and look at this structure, but I want to hand out everyone, because Miss Jackie and I spoke in length, and we talked about the structure. And I told her, and I referred to the pond being a structure. And her answer was, it's not a structure because it doesn't have walls or a roof. So everybody in this room knows, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
We did address it.
We
Yeah,
got-
sir,
we got
just-
6 foot.
Excuse me. Stand right there, please.
Yep, we got 6
Thank
foot.
you, and address the board.
6
Thank
foot
you.
walls of dirt. Miss Jackie, have you seen it? Miss Jackie, have you seen the structure of 6 foot walls? Okay, I've got pictures, and what I'm concerned about is there was no permit, but you're not required to have a permit to build a pond. I was shocked. You have to have a permit to replace roofing. You have to have a design drainage plan for everything. I was told this was not a structure. And that came out of the 2018 IRC book. So I asked my neighbor, what is he building? And he said, a pond. I said, okay. Do you have a drainage plan? No. And I went over all this with Miss Jackie. This was natural drainage, and it comes from Hughes Road. It has 56 feet height coming from Hughes Road, coming toward this low area of 48 feet, which is a natural drainage area for the whole area, and it affects my property, which I live right next door. And my concern is, of course, drainage. So Ms. Jackie said, well, ponds aren't addressed in the IRC 2018. Well, God love us, thank God drainage is. Stormwater drainage, and that's what I'm talking about, because we're gonna have some serious drainage issues. Here is a good map. And this isn't my map, this is the National Wetlands Inventory.
Okay, can you just hold it over there, please, so we
Yep.
can all see it? Thank you so much.
All right, I
There
don't know
you
if you can see
go.
it or
Yeah, we
not.
can see it.
Okay, this is north, south, east, and west.
Okay.
The water comes from Hughes Road, all drains 4 different directions, right here. This is my property. And it is dammed up with a 6-foot structured wall, which will cause drainage issues. So I asked her to come out and look at it. You know, let's put a stop work order so we can sort all this out, see what's going on. She said she couldn't get involved in it. Your best bet is to get an attorney. Well, Mr. Jones, I don't know if you know a lot about drainage, but anyway, that's the last thing I wanted to hear, is get an attorney.
Yeah.
This is natural drainage. and it drains so many acres, I don't know. Now this is a picture of the drainage pipes that y'all put in. Let's see, where is it? That were
All
put
right, 2
in
more minutes, sir, and then we're gonna hear from our engineer, okay?
years ago, but this is the 6-foot wall. And,
All righty.
that wall that comes out, big poster.
Right, way in the back there.
Ah, right there in front of me. Here, you see those 2 culverts?
Uh-huh.
Those culverts drain all of this. Now there's a dam of a 6-foot wall structure of a pond that's gonna keep all that water from coming to the natural drainage, which is,
Is that, may I ask a question?
Yeah, let her say so.
Those drainage pipes, that.
This
that
is Darrow
drains
Road.
Everyone's property? Why
4
does
different-
it drain all on whose ever property that is?
this right here,
Uh-huh.
whose property is the pond?
No, whose property
The culverts are on whose property?
are you, I mean, they're,
On
The
road
pond-
right away. That's their road.
That drainage is county road, county right of way, but it drains natural drainage of the whole area from 4 different directions, and now it's dammed up, and it's gonna back on me. So we couldn't put a stop work order on it because it's not a structure.
All right, thank you, sir, and I'm gonna hear from Jackie real quick.
is
And-
it legal
so you
to
say, well-
drain all of your property
Right.
onto somebody, is all of your water onto somebody else's property? That's my question.
Jackie, wouldn't the answer be just remove the 6 feet of dirt? Just have them remove the dirt so it's a true pond and it's not gonna be damming anything? Isn't that the easy answer?
Hold the water.
I think that that's one option. I think they can put a hole in it. This could be a temporary piece in their process. I think ultimately the issue is that constructing a pond on a private piece of property is not regulated by the county. And so if they are doing something that damages public right-of-way or public drainage, we will get involved and we'll get it resolved. If somebody does something that impacts their neighbor, it is a civil matter between the 2 residents and we legally cannot get involved.
What Jackie's basically saying is, our concern is the county, and Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, I won't say anything. As long as it doesn't adversely affect our road system, then we have no interest in it. That's between the property owners. Tim, you can address.
Don't have any
that.
jurisdiction over it.
And if
We
I
don't have
may,
any jurisdiction over it unless it adversely affects our road system.
if I may, I have the same issue in Socia. There's one, a pond that's located and it's the same exact issue, and it overflows sometimes, and it upsets everybody, and they call, but then after it settles down, they.
Get that all the time,
Uh-huh.
Supervisor Rocco, constantly, especially in low-lying areas. And if it doesn't affect the roads, then I don't think the county has any jurisdiction in that. And Tim can address that legally, I'm just simply.
What about it
telling
being
you,
so close to the culverts, our culverts?
As long as it doesn't
If
affect.
it's affecting the public roadway, the board has jurisdiction to correct the problem if it's some damage in the roadway.
It,
Includes going on private property if need be. But
well, can we get on record that it is a structure? And a
We're not
stru-
prepared to do that today,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Well-
But we will take this under advisement.
But a structure, it is a structure.
it's not a structure controlled by the code. Sir, I looked at it with Jackie, I agree with her, it's not a structure that's controlled by the building code.
With all due respect, storm drain water is by the code.
In conjunction with the
Stormwater
development,
drainage.
with the construction with the development, stormwater drainage has to be addressed, not solely because of a pond. But, I mean, that's again, something that's between private property owners. If they damage your property, they're responsible for it, not county jurisdiction unless it affects the public roadway.
And I believe that's why she said you need to get an attorney, because it would be civil. But we will take it under advisement, I promise you. We'll look into if it's affecting our roadway, Mr. Neal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we have a 10 o'clock hearing, number 29.
Brief description of the case. The Saucy property has requested to do a 3-lot subdivision, divide 3 lots, providing a private access road
to Lot C on the site plan. The appeal procedure is both appellant and applicant are allowed 3 10-minute speakers. All exhibits intended for the record shall be marked A, B, etc. The appellant will be allowed a 5-minute rebuttal, address any board questions, and then the board will render its decision.
Just one question.
Any questions for me?
Yeah, I tried to find the transcript. There was no real transcript like we normally get where you have the testimony from both sides.
Well, it should have been up there.
My backup did not have
Okay.
that. It was just simply a small statement.
Okay.
It didn't have a question and answer period or, and did y'all
Okay,
notice that?
I didn't review that, but basically, they're dividing approximately 8.7 acres into 3 lots. They had to rezone the 2.7 acre lot and do a private access road for Lot C.
I just curious about the transcript. It wasn't a typical transcript as we normally get on an appeal.
I know the transcript is ordered, and let me find
Just
out.
here.
I got the staff.
I'll check with April.
Yeah, it was just,
The staff
it wasn't a transcript per se like we normally get. I didn't get that.
There should be a minutes from.
There was a minute, but it was only a brief paragraph. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we need the minutes so we can look at the history.
We didn't get the back and forth of the meeting itself, or the people who were speaking.
I know the transcript was ordered, and I know we received it, and I thought it was put in there, but let me step out. and
Yeah,
I'll-
check it.
I have a copy.
I didn't see it.
You have a copy?
Transcript.
Yes, ma'am.
We would need to make sure.
It's just
that we
too-
received it. Yeah.
Yeah. We can't take it from you necessarily because we have to make sure it's official, and I wonder if
And
we,
we don't have time to
and we
read
don't
it.
have time, yeah, to read it.
Let him check and see first before we make a decision.
Okay.
I was just grabbing the minutes.
Even if he finds it, we still won't have time to read it.
Depends on how long it is. I think it's probably, I don't know, lengthy.
Yeah, looked like it was not like that.
Yeah. Tim, can we go ahead with the hearing and allow people to speak?
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
It's up to the board then. If you want to wait to
Wanna
read
go
the
ahead and
transcript,
start?
just take it under advisement
Yeah,
until you have a chance
yeah.
to read it.
All right, who's gonna be our timer? Renee? Thank you. All right, so we will hear first, let's see, those who filed the appeal. Hello, just state your name and address, please, when you come up. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anne Marie Saucy Keel. It's 14215 Birdie Country Drive, Cypress, Texas. But I also own the parcel next to this.
Okay,
So, but I'm a Texas resident.
okay. Speak loudly for me and tell me why you're appealing and what the history is.
My mother passed in April of '21, and this property was to be divided. I think you guys had that in my petition as far as the will. So what happened is my brother and sister bought some of it and combined it. Originally, we were trying to create a 35-foot access for the heir who was landlocked, and they adamantly opposed to that. They have purchased it, and as they stated in the minutes, they're gonna put the house back on the market and sell it. They're saying they don't want to develop this, and that's our concerns. They have put it in an LLC, it's in Mr. Negrata's name, he's present. They are requesting an access again now, and like I said, everyone seems to be fine with them doing one home, but we're concerned once they get this split, what's going to prohibit them from coming back and splitting it and then developing. That's the concern. So they don't really need a shared access. They have purchased the home. So on the lot that was landlocked, you can access that from the home. as he stated in the minutes, he may give first right of refusal to the homeowner to purchase that. If not, he can combine it with his parcel. That also butts up to Saucy Lane. So if you're looking at those two, with the back one, he does not need a shared access no matter where he puts that parcel. If he wants to split it and develop it, then he would need it. And again, that's the concern the residents are worried about. He mentioned going from the R1 to an E1, he would have to get his larger, and I don't know if he can do that, but all I can tell you is it's in an LLC. They're saying they're not developing it, but I cannot prove that at this point, but that is our concern.
What's it currently zoned, Eric?
Because they combined it, they put about 10 together and they're looking to split that back.
So they want to go to
One time it
R1.
was split.
No, it was supposed to be split. They chose to keep it together
Okay.
to avoid the easement
Okay, understood.
in the estate.
So is this relatives, all everybody's related?
Yes, it's two of my 3 siblings.
That property is currently now E1,
It's all E1,
it's all E1, and what they're asking for is an R1.
No, they're asking for the two 3-acre lots that remain E1. The one lot that we're putting the private access road through is only 2.7 acres, so we're rezoning that to R1 because the minimum lot size in E1 is 3.
So it's 3/10 of an acre,
So-
too small.
The 2 of the properties, if I understand, will remain E1, is what you split.
Yes.
They remain E1, and that's generally what is in that area, is E1, a larger
A lot
lot.
of E1 in that neighborhood.
Lot of E1s in that neighborhood.
So
And the only one that's going to R1 is the easement.
Is the
The
2.7
lot,
acre
the 2.7 acres that is going to be where the easement is.
Yes.
Go ahead.
As a sibling, can you not protest this yourself? I mean, I know you're protesting it today, but I mean, can you not protest it?
Well, they did purchase it, they own it. I mean, the judge has a rule, we're still in courts over this, and it's really been over this easement because the one heir was landlocked. And you couldn't, but he backed out, he gave up. Now they're coming back and they want it. But it's really the development. I mean, one house is fine. I just can't prove what they're doing. They'll come back later, but this is step 1 for them.
They'll
It's
have to come
not
back.
necessary for them to keep it, E1 and have an access to the road.
It's not necessary, no,
Not
because
necessary.
the parcel that was landlocked can be accessed from either one. So they don't need their access. And I think that would make a lot of the residents feel a lot more comfortable and to prohibit down the road of whatever's the plan.
If this went forward, would it prohibit them from down the road? Would they have to come back for conditional use, or if we?
If they did anything other than one house on one lot, they would have to come back to us. Currently, Lot C on the site plan has no access to a public road. That's why the easement was required. In the original plan that was submitted by her older sister, Ms. Lenting, there was a 15-foot easement that was going around the property line, which is insufficient for to make it a legal lot of record.
Which is what they fought me on and said, Mr. Ellis, we had a court-appointed realtor who recommended moving that easement to the south side of the property and combining it. I was brought back to court, accused of devaluing the estate, and had an emergency injunction filed against me.
See,
This is how
the
much-
only issue, I mean, most of the area is E1. The only issue is a small lot that's accepting the easement.
Correct.
It's 2.7 acres.
2.7 acres,
2.8.
as opposed to 3.
They're trying to move it to 3.
But it should give you peace of mind that they can only build one house. If they ever did more in the future, would you fear they would have to come back before
realize that.
us? Okay.
Are they asking for R1?
There's one lot that's 2.7 acres, so it can't be E1 because it has to be 3 acres. So there's one lot they're asking for R1 because it's less than 3 acres. So you're talking about 3/10 of an acre is different. If it was 3 acres, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Well, they're moving it. You've got a 2.6 and a 2.8.
To
So
build
2
an
of the 3.
R1, is that a conditional use? to
To
build.
build in an R1? No.
Yeah,
No, it's allowed by right.
it's allowed by
To
right.
build a house, in E1, it's allowed by
It's
right.
by right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything further?
Can we make a conditional use that it has to be E1?
Say that again?
Can we make it a conditional use for that roadway that it has to remain E1?
No, you can't. Couldn't do that.
It's all E1, I was just
Yeah.
looking outside the box.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Keel. Anything further?
No, I just, like I said, they have access from both parcels. They don't need the shared access.
Okay. Thank you. All right, now we'll hear from the other side. Did you have something to give us?
Morning.
Good morning. State your
Skip
name.
Grotto, 110 Laurel Lane, Pascagoula, Mississippi. I'm here on behalf of Stephen Saucy and Susan Lentine. You know, I get the concern, but it's really not a concern. You know, there's an old saying, if the facts are on your side, you argue the facts. If the law's on your side, you argue the law. If neither one, you just stir the pot. And that's pretty much what's going on. You've got 3 pieces of property that were deeded to the children. All they're trying to do is expand the lot that's listed as C to make it 3 acres, to keep it E1. The B lot, which is where the house is E1. They're not taking anything away from the lot that's marked as A. In other words, they're not creating the situation, it's already there. The only question is, how do you get to C? Sure, if you own it all, you don't have an access problem. By the will, the plan was to sell the house. If they sell the house, there's no access. You have to get access, which is what the 35-foot easement is. I haven't heard anything brought up that is in violation of the law or violation of the code. And so I would just ask the board to approve the plan put together by the Planning Commission, which was approved 5-0 vote a month ago, 2 months ago.
Thank you, Mr.
So,
Negrado.
is the effect, if that were not approved, if the easement issue is not approved, are the other lots, the E1 lots, landlocked? They are landlocked.
Lot C would be landlocked.
Lot C would be landlocked.
Yes.
And Lot C has the house on it?
No, Lot B has the house on
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to
So
see
they're
in this picture.
landlocked.
it. Once you sell off
If
Lot
the
B,
property's
Lot C would
landlocked,
be
don't they have a, well, how do they, you know, if we don't approve this, then what would they have to do? Go to the court to get, chancery to get, access to that lot? Or do they own lots? They own that lot and,
The lots are all in the estate right now.
and the
Or
estate.
where it started in the estate.
Mr. Negrado, you still have a few minutes if you want to come back up. He'll ask
I'm
you.
not clear on something.
Okay, go ahead.
Ms. Keel owns a lot that she got by executor's deed or executor's deed.
That hasn't happened yet.
It hadn't happened yet.
Correct.
But your clients have gotten the executor's deed, that's all.
They bought the house.
Okay, so they bought it from the estate.
Correct.
And that included all the land that's subject to this appeal.
Well, no, not necessarily. Lot B, as you see on your map, was a little bit bigger. It went to that line right there.
So,
That's what they purchased.
okay.
So
So the
all they're moving is the Lot C line closer to the house.
The estate owns that lot currently?
No, it was purchased by Stephen and,
Okay. So that's still in the estate, that's what.
Yeah.
really, I think the only thing left in the estate is A.
No, everything's deeded.
Okay, well, then it's all deeded
Everything's
out.
deeded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, they're asking for an easement on their own property.
It just, her letter says there's still something that hasn't been approved by the estate.
Well, the final estate has not been
It
approved,
hasn't been closed,
has not been closed.
but all the property's been deeded.
Everybody's agreed, yes.
And
The
does
court's
the
ruled on that.
easement that you're seeking adversely affect Ms. Kill's parcel?
Absolutely not. It's on their property. I mean, they're just making an easement across their own property to get
Well, what
to
it would
lot 2.
do is open the property up for future development.
Which they would have to come before you to do.
Not necessarily, if it's easy,
already
they can
zoned.
build on those lots, houses without coming for, but I don't know why we would object to anybody building a house on a 3-acre lot.
Right. Well, you've heard a lot about this LLC, and that I put it together to make development, which is why I'm here. That's a bunch of baloney.
Anything other than a home would have to have a conditional permit on that lot, on those lots, right, Eric?
Absolutely.
So then it'd have to come back for the board, but a home, is not conditional use, they have that by right on those lots.
The zone is specifically set up to be a single-family zone.
Okay.
And that's regardless whether it's R1 or E1.
That's right.
Build residence.
That's right.
It just, there's no.
How many homes can you put on R1?
One,
One.
Just one?
One without a conditional use permit.
same way with E1.
I mean, you'd have to go in and it's, I think it's 2.7 acres. You'd have to come in and ask the board to subdivide that. Again, that, we're not there. And if we ever got there, then you have the opportunity to decline it. But that's not the plan. The reason it was put into an LLC was because both of the members live out of state.
I just want to clarify, and I think that's, in my own mind, they own that property now.
That's correct.
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't understand all the estate issues, but they do own the property.
Correct.
That's clear, right, Tim? I mean,
Well, that's what I understand. I believe Skip, obviously. The letter said it hadn't been closed. That's what I was trying to
Yeah,
figure out.
the estate has not been closed, but the land has been separated by the court.
and by-
All right, thank you, Mr. Negrano. Any further discussion from the board? Any questions?
We got gentlemen here, I think.
Oh, yes, sir. Would it come up? Just state your name and address, please.
My name is Charles Walker Saucy. I am a sibling to Emery. At the time of my mother's death, this back lot back here where they wanted to get the easement to was bequeathed to me. And during the process of resolving this estate, I spent tens of thousands of dollars fighting my brother, my sister, not her, the other two, because I was trying to get an easement to this property back here. The same easement he's requesting now. I wanted a 30-foot easement with a portion of it coming from the estate house, and the other portion 15 feet coming from my brother's property, so I could access my land. Because with the 15-foot easement, you can only do things agriculturally. You cannot do residential. You have to have 30 feet. My brother and my sister refused to give me that easement. And because of my health reasons and the financial aspect of this, I sold him that land. I've still not been paid for that land. And he has control of the house, he has control of my property, he has control of his property. But as my sister stated, he doesn't need an easement to go back to the property I sold to him. They both, his property that he has and the home, he owns the house. He told the board, the planning commission, that he was gonna build a family home. That's not his intention. He owns the family home. His intention is to end up subdividing these lots. That's, you don't go form an LLC just for the heck of it. But I want it known that I spent a lot of money trying to get the same easement that he wants right now. And I don't see why he has to disrupt any of this for any reason other than some commercial development later on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And whoever you
Again,
close,
he-
yeah.
I'm sorry?
I'm asking, he's claiming he hadn't been paid, they still own that lot, don't, Tim?
That's
the
my
parties
understanding.
that
Skip
are-
will be able to explain.
The courts have not released the money.
still own that lot that he says he hasn't been paid.
He got an executor's deed from the estate, so the estate's been paid, and then he'll be paid by the estate. when it's
Okay,
closed.
just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
Because we don't approve of zoning,
I think that's correct.
that's, on a piece of property that the applicant is not the owner of.
Correct. No, they're the
Well, no, they're their owners, but I have not been paid, but at the same time, he can appeal the judge ruling whenever this judge does make a decision. It's been 9 weeks since we finished up waiting for his decision on who's gonna get what.
Okay.
So
I got
they
it.
purchased it from the estate, got an executor's deed. So they got a deed from the estate got the money, and that's what they're waiting on to be dispersed.
Okay.
If I can just say one thing, because this LLC stuff is just completely wrong. The gentleman that was just up here set up his own LLC, August 4th of 21, called CCP Wiggins LLC. Reason he wanted the easement was because he wanted to be a lesser of residential buildings and a lesser of real estate. He wanted that easement because he planned on developing. He sold it. My point is, it's not in an LLC for development. What happened was they bought him out, and they want to put an easement on their own property so that if in fact they need to build a house back there, or they want to sell it, they can do that.
All right,
If they
thank
want
you,
to do
Skip.
anything else, they got to come to you.
All right, what is the board's wish?
Well, I will make a motion to deny the appeal and uphold the commission's decision.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? A motion to deny appeal. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Number 4, Mandy?
Yes.
Recognizing Ron Jenkins, Community Planning and Liaison Officer for the Naval Construction Battalion Center in Gulfport to present information about a FEMA brick grant that has been awarded. Hello.
Yes, good morning, and thanks for your time this morning. So I'm Ron Jenkins, Community Liaison Officer for NCBC Gulfport. My address is 206 Swanson Avenue, Pass Christian. So I want to talk about this FEMA brick real quick, grant and how we got here. So FEMA is a very relatively new program. BRIC stands for Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities. And this is a large pool of pre-hazard mitigation money designed, could be many things, but also can look at resilient solutions to infrastructure, you know, in a mindful way of mitigating future hazards. So back in January, the Navy asked us to look into this program and partner with the community for this grant. This larger big pool of money FEMA brick grant is very complicated, so FEMA started the Direct Technical Assistance Grant. The Navy had Harrison County Development Commission submit for direct technical assistance. It's a non-financial grant, but FEMA will provide a lot of labor hours to look at improving Canal Road in some shape or form from 28th Street to I-10. There's no predetermined outcome from the Navy's point of view, but this does fall in, obviously, Harrison County for some of Canal Road and some of the city of Gulfport. Moving forward, what we would ask for many stakeholders, you know, Harrison County and the city, is to provide input, desires, plans, concerns that you all have for Canal Road. We as a base, we would be a community member, you know, expressing our desires. Port of Gulfport is interested and will be involved. Gulfport Regional Planning Commission is interested in sharing their studies, and MDOT is also, Mr. Kelly Castleberry said he would participate. How we were selected, because I was kind of, you know, we never get grants, it seems like, you know, we, federal government, but, so they looked at the social economic stats and environmental stats of Harrison and city of Gulfport, and, you know, one of the parts on the application was well, how many disasters have you had? And we can name a dozen.
Lost count.
Lost
Yeah.
count. You know, I think that we ran out of room. I think this is a good news story. This could take a while. It could be up to 36 months. With the end state, this DTA program would tee us up, help us, the community, write grants for the large pool of money. And there is a 75-25 share. They will also find us how to, look for that 25 share. I don't know what this would look like, but just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Make sure I understand. You're
Yes, sir.
saying that the grant will require 25% contribution locally.
When this grant, no contribution, no,
This grant.
of this grant, right? It's called the FEMA BRIC DTA, so they're doing everything.
What grant then would require that you?
That
would require 25%?
This DTA grant would tee us up for the large FEMA BRIC grant, which is $1 billion pot.
grant.
Right, the large grant. So that would be 75% and then 25% from what other
And
funding
could that
source.
grant, the second grant that you're referring to, could that grant be used to build a road?
Could be,
Improve
yes,
the
sir.
road,
Correct.
widen it, raise
Yes.
it, whatever?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, we don't want to, no predetermined outcome. It's going to be up to the community.
I know there's no predetermined outcome. The bottom line is, what we're talking about ultimately is improving Canal Road.
Yes, sir.
So traffic access to and from I-10.
Correct.
And also
And
an
it's gonna be
evacuation
related
route.
to storm
Yes, ma'am.
evacuations
Yes,
and
ma'am.
stuff of that nature, getting people out,
Right.
rather than having to go to Highway 49 or some
Correct.
other.
It is, again, just from the basis perspective, we use Canal Road, really you go to Camp Shelby, it's not desirable to flood 49 with heavy. Our equipment's gotten bigger, heavier, up-armored from the past two wars, and it's very narrow. So if it's a safety concern for us, it's obviously a safety concern for the community.
And there's no commitment once the county
No.
participates in this
Correct.
first grant that you're talking about.
No commitment.
Or even maybe the second one.
Correct. No commitment at all.
No commitments at all.
No, sir.
Is there anything prohibiting the CBs from being that 25% funding source on the match?
So the reason why the Navy is looking at these type of grant opportunities is we're not allowed to use federal funds outside. So we had a DSIP grant with the city for Pass Road. We've done that 2 years in a row. It hasn't been picked up, but we're looking at all sorts of opportunities.
But you're not allowed.
There's
Yes,
no
ma'am.
doubt that something ultimately needs
Needs
to be
to
done
happen.
with Canal Road.
Absolutely.
And it's just a matter of,
I think this could be potentially a windfall, or at the very least, the community could decide what right looks like, and then we go from there.
Okay.
good.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Anything else?
Do we
Great
need to
news.
vote
Yes,
on
ma'am.
that?
Thank you.
Participation?
Do we need to give you a vote on participation that we're
With
interested,
the
in,
grant?
that we're willing to?
The
There
first,
is a MOU that I don't know if it's been, that you would have to sign. The city, I think, has signed already, and then FEMA would sign it. So we'd need to give you that, I think, maybe first to look at,
yes.
and then
Yeah.
we could
Then
come
we'll
back.
act on that MOU.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and authorize the MOU after review by council, so they ain't gonna come
Sounds
back.
good. I so move.
All right.
Second.
A motion and a second to authorize an MOU to move forward. Any further discussion?
For legal review first.
For legal review.
And
Yes, thank
and
you.
then we'll
I
act.
don't know if we got it, would you make sure we get it?
Yes, sir, I can.
One of the city sign it. Thank you.
Yeah, Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
The
all,
email's on the website, you can just email it.
Yes, sir.
thank you. Yeah, Kenton. All right, any further discussion? That's all right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 5, recognizing on the phone Doug Lovejoy, lease consultant with MD7, an authorized vendor of American Towers LLC, to consider approving rent reduction, lease extension options for tower site located at 14120 James Bond Road, Gulfport, Mississippi. Is he there?
Hi Doug, are you available?
Yeah, how's it going?
Okay, good. The board's ready for you.
Here you go, maybe this is me. I'll just give you a Hi, Mr. Lovejoy. This is Rebecca Powers, President of Harrison County Board of Supervisors. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Very good. We're all here and ready to go. You can go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, So this site obviously started in '06. It's got a full expiration of 2046. American Tower does rankings of their site, P1, 2, 3, and 4. Usually, obviously, P1 is the best. This one's ranked a P3, probably because it's got Cellular South on there, which is really just a state telecom provider. It's a non-national. So, a one renter site that's a non-national renter, I guess, becomes concerning. Because if something were to happen with Cellular South, and, we don't have anything in writing that they're definitely sticking around. We have a lease with them, but it's like similar to what our lease is with y'all, where our lease says, what is this, Section 7B? It's like 30 days notice for sole discretion. So all of our renters, they have that kind of same stuff with us, whether it's 30, 60, 90 days, sole discretion, termination language. So we're basically what we're trying to do is I am on the TAP program with American Tower, which is an acronym for Tower Asset Protection Program. So it's really just what it is. My job is to protect one renter P3 sites from, we don't want to, we can't get better guarantee language from Cellular South in writing. So technically that means that they could just not decide not to be on that pole, and then the pole goes empty, and we don't have any backups. When we talk to AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they're a hard no. And it's not like it's an expensive site, and I think it's in a good location. So it's I think what we're trying to do is just make sure the one renter sticks around. I don't think that any of those options that I sent out to y'all are, going to load up an AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. It just doesn't really work that way when you're, I guess, the biggest tower company. Or maybe it's Crown Castle. Crown Castle's pretty big too. But and I actually have a lot of friends that were working there, and they just did massive layoffs. Just got rid of everybody. And a lot of these companies are doing that.
Okay, we have a question for
Mr.
you.
Lovejoy, Mr. Lovejoy, this is Marlon Loudon, one of the Board of Supervisors. I'd like to cut to the chase. I think basically what you're requesting, or at least the American Towers are requesting, is a reduction in their rent. If I read that correctly, that's cut to the chase. They're asking for a reduction in their rent, their lease, a reduction in the cost of their lease. That's the bottom line.
For the purpose or the motivation behind it is, to protect that the one renter sticks around.
Well,
not just to do it
if they want to
for no
move,
reason.
that's an option they have. I don't see where we would reduce our lease based on the fact that they want to move or would like to move.
Yeah, nobody here is forcing you to do anything. We're trying to protect the asset, and usually the best way to protect the asset is like, I'm a renter here in Dallas, Texas, and I guess if my apartment complex is trying to keep me around.
Unless there's a justification that somebody can present to me personally, and I don't know how the other board feels. Why would we?
I can barely hear you. I'm struggling to hear you.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't know unless there's some other justification to reduce the lease rent. Why would we do it? I mean, if it sounds to me like they're saying, hey, we might move if you don't reduce the cost of the lease. That's an option they have. I don't see any justification for us reducing the cost of the lease unless somebody can tell me something else other than the fact
I
that
think
they
it's
might
just,
leave.
it would probably, I mean, the way I look at it and American Tower looks at it is like, if the more years, the more decades is the more money you get from the asset. So it's an income producing asset for the county, and then, I think it's good to have different revenue streams, I guess, and then I guess it also provides cell phone coverage for your constituents, at least right around that area of James Bond Road anyway, in Gulfport. So I think that's motivation.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Lovejoy?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board?
I don't have any more questions.
All right, thank you. Okay, what is the board's wish.
I don't know exactly what they're asking for. I think they're asking for a reduction in the lease, and I'm not prepared to grant it.
So we make a motion
To
to
deny.
deny.
All right, we have a motion.
To
What do you make the
deny the
motion?
request to reduce the lease.
Okay, is that your motion?
Yeah, I would.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Lovejoy. Do I just hang up?
Have a good day, thanks.
You too. Did I do that right? The red button?
You did.
All right, number 6, consider the claim of Michael Curtis, MD, for automobile damage caused by Harrison County fire truck on February 11th of this year at the intersection of Robinson Road and County Farm. Hello, sir. Give us your address, please.
11964 Champion Circle in Gulfport.
Okay, and what happened?
My wife and I were going out to dinner about 4:30 February 11th, and we were fully stopped at the stoplight at Robinson Road at County Farm, and a fire truck came around the corner. He was carrying too much speed to make the corner, so he cut the corner short and smashed into the side of our car. You know, luckily it was still drivable, even though parts were hanging off of it. And I was able to turn around 180 degrees and chase him down. He went 2.5 miles to Fayards. It's on the corner of Canal and Robinson. And by the time we got there, he was fueling up the truck and he'd ordered a poor boy. So then we called the sheriff's deputy and he came over. You know, we took some pictures and sorted it out. I think you guys have a copy of my complaint.
Yes.
Or my claim, sorry.
Yeah. Neil, my safety officer, did the report. Oh, there you are. Sorry, you moved on me. Hey, Neil.
It's hard to miss Neil.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. So you responded?
No, I didn't. Pat Sullivan called me about an hour after it was all over with. And I went up to the sheriff's office and got a copy of the actual report and a statement from the fireman that was driving the truck. And I think you have a copy of all that. And the diagram indicates that, you know, he was going south on County Farm Road, making a left turn on Robinson, and struck the driver's side front of Mr. Curtis's car. And he cut the corner right there with the fire truck. And the center section of the fire truck is the front part of his car.
Did he not feel it?
Well,
That big truck, you might not.
fire truck's pretty heavy. It's got about probably 8,600 pounds of water in it. And the damage that he did just to that corner of the car, he probably did feel it. I wouldn't think he did.
Was there anything in the report about speeding? I'm sorry.
No,
You alleged
he
speeding.
didn't. He didn't.
Okay.
I tried to get back with Brandon, who was driving the truck, but he's in Louisiana with fighting forest fires over there or something. So,
Wow.
He didn't deny that he hit him, did he?
He didn't.
He
He
did
didn't
not
deny
deny it. He might have not known it, but
Right.
he didn't say, no, I didn't.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, it wasn't a confrontation or anything. We were all amicable, you know.
Where are you from? Because you said poor boy.
What?
Where are you from?
Is
I'm
this
just curious.
prejudicial or something?
You said poor boy, so I was just,
Yeah, whatever.
I was just wondering where you were from.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, you don't want to tell us? Why are you blushing? It's okay if you're a Yankee. I'm married to one.
Yeah, no.
We won't hold that against you.
Yeah, well, wait till I get the check.
All right, thank you.
Look forward to it later.
We'll have to tell him the Yankees got one day.
Tim, I don't, how much was the damage?
Yeah, how much is the damage?
No, I don't know. I sent you guys a claim.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
did, but
1,700.
We're
and change.
scrolling through it all. It's hard to find the
Okay.
estimate.
I think it was 1,700 and change.
It hadn't been repaired yet?
Oh, no, it would get repaired right away.
Oh, it got repaired.
Yeah.
Did your insurance company pay you for that, or did you pay for it?
No, I didn't confront them. I just, went to the source.
The problem is that, and this is not this board, this is the legislature. The legislature has an exemption for law enforcement and fire services, whereas they're exempt from liability under the Tort Claim Act. And the board cannot pay a claim under the Tort Claim Act that is exempt. There's an exception to that exemption. It's called the reckless disregard exemption. Reckless disregard has been defined by the courts to be willful and wanton, meaning gross negligence. So you have to establish that the fire truck was not negligent, because obviously he was. You have to establish that he was grossly negligent, meaning that he was willful and wantonly disregarded, like being almost willful. So the question is, can you establish that with this driver, or do you believe he was just guilty of negligence?
That's why I asked if speed had been verified, because that would be willful in a way. If you're doing an act that could cause damage.
No, speed is not, no, if he was going in at like 100 miles an hour, that might be reckless disregard. Just simply speeding is probably not. You know, of course, he's turning a corner.
Yeah, he's supposed to slow down before he turns the corner.
I'm not saying he's not, I'm asking you to explain to the board how he was guilty of willful and wanton disregard.
Your wife wanted to say something?
So I
If you'd
can
like
see
to,
if
please,
this-
please approach, please.
No, I can't get up there, head stroke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If his, if his lights were on, I could totally understand, but he was going for lunch.
That's what I was gonna ask you, Tim. He wasn't responding to a fire.
No.
He was going, I don't know why he was going. Did he ever tell you, Neil, why where he was going?
He was going to,
Fuel up. Sounds like.
that store at Fayard, at Robinson and Canal.
Yeah.
To get his dinner.
To get what?
His dinner.
His lunch, he did say he was
They
going
have
to get food.
Call in orders to go.
Is that normal procedure for him to take a fire truck to go get dinner?
I
Yes.
think they said he was fueling up,
In case a fire occurred, whether.
didn't they?
Is that
Did
what
they not
it
say
is?
he was fueling up?
Yeah, so he was getting gas as well?
No, I thought that's why he went to Fayard. That was my assumption. He went
And I
to.
heard somebody say he was fueling up, maybe it was you.
I'm sorry?
Did you say he was fueling?
Oh, yeah, he was fueling up too.
Oh, he was fueling up.
But, you know, he already had the sandwich, so. I don't know.
He was fueling twice.
They have good food there, they have good
He's
food.
fueling himself and in the truck.
Well, if the board determines it was reckless disregard, and it already went in the course, wasn't, I don't think that applies. Fire service and law enforcement, it doesn't matter whether you get dinner or not, it's ultimately.
Well, there was another issue, if you don't mind me
Wait,
saying
one
so.
person at a time. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, you know, he was carrying so much speed that we stopped and just stayed there because we saw him coming. He was carrying so much speed into that corner. I even thought about backing up, but we were so far over on the right-hand side of the lane in front of the stoplight. I thought he might be able to clear it, but then as we got closer, it's like, you know, everything happens in slow motion when it's a disaster. Just, and I'm replaying it in my head all the time. But yeah, he was driving way too fast to take that corner with all that weight.
Was it, did the report
He picked
indicate
up on
that
Exactly.
behind the white
It's Yankee
line,
ingenuity.
you know, the
I knew it!
No, sir, it doesn't show on there, on the report that he was behind the white line, because they had left the scene because he had to chase the truck down to.
Right.
Yeah, but we have a witness too that, you know, I can make available.
You were behind that white.
Oh,
stop-
yeah, absolutely.
stop line?
I'm the most, well, I'm pretty much the most safest driver you'll ever meet.
Especially down here in the south.
All right.
So the cost was
Well, in the emergency room, I took care of a lot of people that went through the windshield, and I've seen a lot of carnage from people not driving safe.
Right.
That's all.
That included the tax of $114.70.
It's already been repaired, he paid the taxes, and you have to pay him. If we could pay directly, you could take the sales tax off, but since he's already repaired it. Come on, Kelly.
Thanks.
All
Even
right.
though he is a Yankee,
That's right.
apparently. No, we like it.
Allegedly. Any
Welcome
further
you.
discussion or questions from the board?
You know, I've always been reluctant, but, you know, I guess negligence, you know, the fact that he hit him is negligent.
Well, he's
And the fact
negative,
that
the
he was
problem is he
speeding.
must be willful and wanton, and I think he's put just enough there for the board to adjudicate the claim.
Well, I'll make a motion.
I
to pay the
second
claim.
it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to pay the claim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Despite his Yankees.
Motion carries.
We're just kidding.
So Tim, you're saying we can pay the taxes? I thought we can't pay taxes.
Oh, no, you're paying him, he's already paid. You can, if we pay directly, you can avoid paying the sale. In other words,
Gotcha.
if we pay directly to the body shop, and they don't charge us tax, but he's already
Gotcha.
prepared to pay.
Who's gonna get in touch with him?
Like,
Sir, wait,
You gotta know where to pick up your check.
we gotta talk to you about.
Don't know where to give it
It's
and
on,
everything.
it's,
You guys know where I live, right?
I don't know.
it's on.
So we'll mail him a check?
It's on the claim, we'll have to, it's a tort fund, so it takes a few days for that check to come.
Okay, so
It'll take about 10 days for a check.
All right.
it'll be mailed to your home.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
Welcome to the coast. Welcome to the South.
All right, number 7, order concurring with the resolution of the Harris County Development Commission authorizing and approving the sale of approximately 8.34 acres of real property located in the Long Beach Industrial District and further identified as parcel number 0511M-01-005.000 to Lanny W. Moore III, with title to be taken in the name of Smell LLC for the purpose of sales and manufacturing of building materials. Motion?
Motion.
Second discussion. I have a question. You said in the appraisal, it says it's $25,015 per acre. But when you do multiply that times 8.34 acres, that comes to $208,650.12. What you're selling it for is $163,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's
6
the
of
deal?
the acres, Brandy Hope, Harrison County Development Commission, 6 of the acres are developable and the other 2 is a ditch.
So you're giving them 2 acres?
It's a ditch.
It's a ditch.
But you still got,
It has no value.
a 2-acre
They're
ditch is
easement ditch.
pretty big.
Yes, ma'am. It's not developable.
Then why are you selling it to him, is my question.
We're just including it so they can
Why?
maintain it.
But according to this, I'm gonna ask Mr. Holland, but this doesn't look, can we do that? Is that legal?
I don't see it in the backups. I questioned this issue myself, and there was a supplement.
Well, it was in the backups.
Are we retaining the lease, I mean, the right of way, the lease?
Yeah.
No, he's
Excuse me,
selling
The easement,
They're
Harris
retaining
County
a drainage easement.
we retaining that
So you'll
easement.
still have
just said they were
responsibility.
selling.
It's still ours.
Keep up with it.
In effect, that
It's
ditch is
still ours.
still, when I say ours, the
We
Development Commission
retain
of the
it, but
county.
we're responsible for its maintaining.
It says you're selling 8.34 acres, but you're really only selling 6.52 acres.
They were
Why don't you
selling
just say
8.34 acres, the
So then
appraisal
we're not
only
retaining
shows 6.4 acres, whatever it is.
But we're not, that's my point, so we're
No, I
not
think-
retaining it because
There was a
she's
supplement.
selling the whole
Whole
8
acres.
Yeah.
acres, correct?
But then they have to maintain it. The buyer would have to
No.
maintain the
No,
ditch.
no.
No?
No.
Development Commission is still.
That's what I mean.
Oh, the
Sell-
Development Commission.
So just sell them the 6.52 acres.
I'm sorry.
Why don't you just sell them the 6.52
Which is
acres?
what you're charging them for.
That's all you're charging them for, is that?
I would notice this, that total.
It was a request by one of our commissioners when we did the
To
negotiations.
give them these other 2 acres?
Who was it?
Geneva.
Who?
Jimmy Levins.
Levins, Jimmy
I
Levins?
just, I don't know if this
But
is,
what,
this
that,
don't look.
I don't know if that would
legal to
pass
me.
any kind of test though, if we had to.
The whole thing was appraised, but the easement.
I don't know that we can give away property.
That's my
That's why
question.
Number one,
Okay.
and number two, it's not.
Why
even-
can't you just sell the 6.52 acres and call it a day?
6 point something.
That's what I would suggest, to make it easy.
It was
I
just
was-
a
I was-
request of the.
I was told it was zero
I guess,
value. for
let
the
me
ditch.
ask a question.
It can't be
If-
zero
if
value.
They find the, what is it, 8-point-some acres? The county is still retaining that easement.
I don't think so. I
That's
think they're
correct. The
selling.
county is retaining a
Has-
drainage easement.
Has the drainage.
According to Mr. Laver, now, hadn't seen that.
That's what
I
I'm
ain't seen it
asking. Lenny, you're involved in that, can you address
Hello,
that?
Mr. Sawyer.
Right here. We started just buying the fast lands, not in the easements, okay? But then the county said, no, we want to include the easements, and I think the reason for that was to, you know, get in there and clean it, and keep it clean by the developer, what he's gonna build. And so that was my understanding why they increased it. Am I right? Yeah.
Who at the county told you that, sir?
Pardon?
Who at the county told you that?
I believe Mr. Labors.
So it was the Development Commission told you,
Right.
not the county.
He was present when we negotiated.
So I want to clarify, if they're, yeah, if they're buying it, if the client is buying it, why, either we retain it, we have to care for it, or we don't.
Well, we need to, they're gonna have to speak for the Development Commission, I can't.
Yeah.
My client wants to develop the property, that's the big thing, and then employ a great number of jobs.
I don't think we. Does he want to develop 8 acres, or does he want to develop 6 acres?
6.52.
Well, I think he wanted to develop only the 6 acres, but the county said, let's see, go ahead and sell them the easement.
Give them is what he
Yeah, they
said.
can. I'm talking about the Development Commission, with y'all's approval.
But they said give them the 2 acres, and we can't give property away, is my understanding.
Mine too.
Well, the last tract we sold in there, I sold was on A Avenue to the south, $25,000. But this piece of property has got a lot more drainage easement on it, around the perimeter of the property. And so I think they were doing that to try to assist them in what they were trying to develop there. Because I think it's going to be a big laydown yard and a place for them to build trust or, you know.
But on your,
If the wetlands aren't wet, you can lay down a lot of stuff, and that's using county property without reimbursement.
Well,
but on your appraisal, if I may, you've got, or Mr. Valbridge, who did it, said that, the value is $163,000, and he's got it broke down at $25,015 per acre. That is not, that doesn't come to that. If he's buying 8 acres, do the math, he's buying 8.34 acres times $25,015, and it comes to $208,650, not $163,000.
Which is a big difference.
Is it in the appraisal that you did?
My client is under the impression he's gonna get fee simple title to 6 point whatever acres in the appraisal.
So then we need to change this to only 7.
You know, what we need to do is, I think we need to table this until Mr. Labors can come in here and address it correctly, what's going on.
Just so the board knows, we tried to address this ahead of time.
Well, I would recommend we
When the
table it.
Patricia noticed the difference between the contracted acreage and the difference between 6.52 acres, which is was the original appraisal, and that the contract was 8.34 acres, which includes this drainage area.
Well, actually,
We asked and we're told that this is, the drainage area is useless property, it's not worth anything.
It don't matter.
I asked them to get the appraiser to address that in the appraisal. That it's actually 8.34 acres, and that the difference between that and the 6.252 acres didn't have any value. What we got back was a letter from the appraiser that says the subject site comprises 8.34 gross acres or 6.52 usable acres of vacant, unapproved wooded land owned by Harris County Development Commission. He still didn't say that had no value. He said it was not usable. I pointed that out. Told him this may become an issue when the board sees it, and so that's an issue. All that needs to be done, if the drainage area has no value, the appraiser just needs to say that the value, the difference between 8.34 and 6.52 acres
Or just buy the
That property
6.5.
has no value, therefore it's included within the
It
$163,000.
has no value,
payment.
it has no use. If it has no use, then it
That-
should remain with the county,
I don't
because we
disagree
can't
with
give it away. It's illegal.
That issue came up too, and the position was that that was so the Development Commission wouldn't have to develop it anymore. And
Well,
I explained
according to
that
this,
you
they
are
can't
keeping
develop
a
it.
drainage
Just leave
easement.
it.
You're gonna be responsible for maintaining the drainage if you keep a drainage easement.
And they kept it, and
So-
they did keep that.
You need to get their appraisal.
Yeah. All right, so do we have a motion to table?
I move the table.
Do we have a second?
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Thank y'all.
All right, all those in favor to table, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Full amount.
All right, number 8, status on the
Tired
cleanup.
already
Having
now,
fun,
we're on
Malcolm?
number 8.
Status on the cleanup of blighted property on Highway 49, Braden Road Trailer Park at 18128 Highway 49, Saucia, Mississippi. Confirmation from DEQ that the lagoon is functional and update on the 19 trailer title issues.
Malcolm Jones, 831 East Sandy Drive, past Christian. Before I get into that, just as a point to help maybe you, Ms. Rocco, and maybe Mr. Hallman, there's a statute, it's 57-7-1, that allows you to sell surplus property for less than its fair market value if you determine that it's in the best interest of the county to do so. You don't necessarily, you're not locked into the appraisal
Right, I
in this
agree with that.
particular situation. So just something to think about if you're looking for a way to go ahead and facilitate the sale. Because sometimes you sell property, you're selling the fee, but you're reserving back an easement. So in a lot of ways, you know, they're getting something, but they're also not necessarily getting
The way it was
the whole
written.
thing.
The way this appraisal's
The
written.
problem is the appraisal
Right,
didn't
the
say that.
appraisal was written,
I can
everything
appreciate
is
that.
written.
Just
And
giving you-
if I was a taxpayer and I read that,
Yeah.
I'd say, I want a deal like that. From the,
Just giving you a
no,
workaround if you're
which
looking
I am a
for it.
taxpayer, but.
I'm not involved in that transaction, I'm just giving you
Yeah.
information.
Just giving us some info. All right.
Correct. The transaction I am involved in, of course, is the Braden Trail Park. I went ahead and just to help you understand what we're dealing with, I went to the tax assessor's office and I got the tax assessor records to figure out who owns these trailers. And so, and I'm gonna turn all this in for the record. Eric Ladner owns 8 trailers. Samuel Hutchinson owns 3 trailers. The estate of Sammy Williams, which is the wife of the decedent Jerry, she owns 20 trailers. And as I pointed out in a previous hearing before the board, we were trying to get the 3 trailers that are claimed by Mr. Samuel Hutchinson and the 20 trailers that are owned by the, or claimed to be owned by the estate of Sammy Williams back into the estate of Jerry Williams. Unfortunately, we were not able to get a hearing and have that adjudicated before this hearing. I'll make this just part of the record. These are from your own tax assessors. Should I pass it to the board, or do you want to see it? Or
Make it part of the record unless the board wants to see it.
You
Yeah,
wanna see it?
you can just make it part of the record.
No, not here until,
Just give it to her.
yeah. Start saying written.
You said you saw the assessor already, Malcolm, about this?
So this is what we got from the tax assessor. You know, these trailers are not part of the land, so they're treated as personal property. They're not, you know, assessed like real property would be. Okay?
But we have to make sure we know which ones are still on the tax roll. Have you done that, which are currently still on the roll?
So the only 3 that are actually in the estate of Jerry Williams, which is the one that I represent, there were 3, and those 3 have been removed from the site. Now, other news, and I'm telling you all this so you'll understand the quandary that we're in. We're trying as hard as we can to get them out of there and removed, but there are other people that own these trailers, and I mean own them outright, even though we told them you gotta go. They're not leaving like we want them to, and so to address it, so the 8 trailers that are owned by Mr. Ladner, Eric Ladner, I've spoken to his attorney, Mr. Rick Tubertini, and he's authorized me to tell you that of the 8, there are 4 of them that are can't be salvaged, need to be destroyed, demolished, and removed. Yeah, and apparently that's what they're moving forward to do. There are 2 trailers one of which is occupied, that they're trying to move to another location which will accept them. They haven't moved them as of yet. There were.
The trailers or the people?
Both.
Both.
Okay.
There's actually only one trailer in the whole park right now that's occupied by a particular lady.
And how long has this guy been trying to move these trailers?
All I can tell you is this, is I assume they got notified the same time we did.
How long ago?
Yeah, 'cause he was here.
And this has been going on for a while, so.
Months.
Months,
Yeah.
exactly.
So in months' time, he can't manage to move, to even afford dilapidated
Yeah.
trailers.
All I'm
Much
telling
less
you is,
afford-
don't kill the messenger, okay?
Oh, I know, sure.
Don't kill the messenger.
I'm not,
telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just telling you this now, at the last hearing, it was brought up, oh, they still have electricity to that trailer. So the first thing I did when I left here was try to figure out, how can they have electricity there? Well, I found out it's because it's in their own name. It's in the tenant's name. And we can't stop them from having electricity. Apparently, the power company won't listen to us. Now, they might listen to the code office. If you tell them that it's condemned, maybe they'll turn the power off to that
I think
trailer.
that might work.
But-
Have we tried that?
But I was told they're gonna have
We
two.
have not tried, Kelly's out of town, so.
Yeah.
But we have not tried that yet, because we were hoping the trailers would move.
Right.
So.
I was told they were gonna move
everybody
two
should
trailers
see them.
today, two of their trailers today. Let's hope that they do. All right, the other.
I'm sorry,
which-
Malcolm, before we move on.
Yes.
Sharon, you had something to say about
He was
taxes?
talking about Chester Ladner, correct, just now?
It's Eric.
Eric, is it Eric Chester Ladner?
I think so.
All right, well, if that's him, the 8 that I'm looking at least 7 of them, the taxes are paid up and current, which is a good thing. So I'm just saying, at least I want to make a record that the taxes are paid.
Right.
Well, as of Jerry Williams, are not, none of them are paid.
So that's in the estate that I'm representing, and that particular situation, they had to pay the property taxes because they were about to lose the land due to a tax sale that occurred years ago, and they had to pay that. Now, that was $12,000 they had to put towards, $12,500 to put towards the payment for the land taxes. The remainder of, there's a total of $35,000 spent. The remainder was to repair and put back in service the water well, which has been accomplished. The included in the package that I provided to you is a letter from the DEQ. You had asked me to get information back on that. They gave them 90 days to go ahead and come up with a plan for compliance. That report will be due tomorrow. The plan is going to include restoring the aerator, hiring the operator. You have to have a certified operator for the lagoon, and then hopefully the DEQ will approve that plan, and then they'll go ahead and implement that plan over the next October, November, December. They're gonna give them 90 days, hopefully, to install the work for the deal.
May I ask a
Yeah.
question? I don't mean to interrupt you, but,
So many months.
but these are business people, right? They were business people. They had this trailer park for a long, long, long time.
They died, kind of.
They're deceased.
They're passed away.
Right,
But
this is the family.
they had relatives that I guess took it over. They maybe should have sold it. I mean, the torment that they put, that this trailer park has put all the neighbors in for so many years and was neglected, and I think somehow, yeah, has got to be, I mean, I don't.
All I'm saying is this, and I want to interrupt you. If you decide you want to move forward.
It's tone, I'm sorry.
If you want to move forward to demolish, remove, whatever you want to do for the trailers, make sure you're going against the owners of those trailers for the cost of removal. I'm telling you that the estate, the 3 we had,
But
they're gone.
why is that our responsibility when the estate is the property it's sitting on?
But the estate don't own all the
They
trailers.
don't own the trailers. And
They
in
don't own the
fact-
trailers.
And in fact, it would help us, I believe, in the estate proceedings, if you were to go ahead and order us through the estate to go ahead and to remove those trailers. One of the questions I had
Well,
But to
we
me,
charge it back to the estate, to whoever.
the owners of the trailers.
The owner
you
of the
charge back.
trailer, that's what he's saying.
Yes, you charge it back to the owners, but
Yeah.
I'm just telling you this, it would help me and what I'm trying to accomplish. You would turn
We
up the heat a bit if you'd go ahead and just order that those trailers are condemned and must be removed.
Okay, Sharon?
And also, the mobile homes, as long as they are there every year, cost us, the taxpayers, all dollars that are sitting here, because we're paying constables to go out and knock on all of those doors that are there, and we're about to do that again next month. So as long as they're sitting there, it's costing us, the taxpayers, again, next month, to pay those court, we're paying out for constable fees that we should not be paying for.
All right.
So there's
Go
only
ahead.
one trailer that has an occupant that I'm aware of. All the rest of them are secure, and you can check with the code officer to see if that's different.
Eric, can we call Mississippi Power and get them to tell them it's condemned for that one trailer for the power to be shut off? Or do we need to make a
I'll have to
motion?
get with the code office, have them condemn that trailer.
All of them. All of them?
All of them? Well, there's only power to one of them.
But there's no sewer.
There's no sewer.
There's no water either. There's no water.
The water's been restored.
And currently, we have 35 sitting out there that we're about to pay constable fees for, minus the 9 that Mr. Ladner paid.
Why would you pay constable fees to
We have to pay.
inspect a trailer that's not occupied?
As long as it's there and somebody don't give Paula, the tax assessor, permission to get off the roll, we have to pay the constables to go out.
Take them off the roll.
Yeah, take off roll. Oh, you're a neighbor, right? You want to say something quickly?
Yes.
Just very briefly, please.
Yes, my name is Jean Crawford. I live at 18221 Braden Road. There are people still living in the trailers. Now, they come in at night and leave early in the morning.
They might be home.
I know how.
But there are vehicles at the trailer. This morning, I went walking, and there was a vehicle at one of the trailers. I went walking probably between 6:15 and 6:30 this morning.
Was there power to the trailer, or you don't know?
I don't know.
There's only power to the.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking
The
about.
northern, the southern, let's call it trailer 14, because it's in the far corner.
And none of them.
Are they making progress? Are they making progress?
How can you live in a place?
The
where there's no
trailers
power?
are in worse shape now than what they were.
I'll tell you a story about one of my rentals.
Let me correct
I'll tell
correct
you a
something
story
Michael
later
said.
of one of our
The
rentals.
board has declared this to be a blighted property.
Do we need to make a motion to condemn the trailers as well?
Well, that's something we have to research different than the blighted property. The blighted property statute.
All right, let's start with blighted property statute.
Blighted property allows you to go in and clean the property, okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that if the trailers have some worth, that you can go in there and remove them. It's clean the property. So that's the board, what's before the board now, and we've given
Whatever's
them
on it, clean it.
time. Now, if there's a trailer that's dilapidated and it can be cleaned, that's falls within the statute. The property will be liable for that cleanup, not the trailer owner.
Why would the owner of the property be
Because the blighted
responsible for a
property
trailer
statute.
that's
Owned by somebody else.
owned by somebody else?
If the board adjudicates it, because you're the owner of the property, you can make them remove it.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but I have to be able to go ahead and remove them. If they won't remove it, I mean, you're gonna put the
The
burden on
county can only
us.
Let me
clean the
ask this
property as it
question.
exists, and the statute allows the assessment of the cost of that cleaning against the property itself, like taxes.
Madam President?
Yes, but what if we
That's the
go a
statute.
different route? What if we go a different route of blighted property is my point.
But let me ask a
It's
question.
Okay.
If I may?
Sure.
What if he had a trailer on there and you own a legitimate trailer park and the trailer guy wasn't paying his rent?
Okay,
Wouldn't you tell him to take his trailer and move it off of your lot?
been telling them, have been telling them, told them multiple
I
times.
know, but what does the owner do? It's the owner's responsibility of the property, is what I'm saying. The property is the man's property, it is a trailer park. You pay to park your trailer there. If
Right.
you have a trailer that is not paying their rent, then you, as the owner, I would assume, I'm not an attorney, but you as the owner could have them removed from that property.
And that's
Is
what
that
we're
not
try-
correct?
That is correct, and that's what we've been trying to accomplish, but
But now you wanna put it on the county.
I'm not
to move
putting it on the county, I just want you to know, because I know, look, I'm well aware of the situation,
I'm
but
not
people are,
Let me get my.
because I represent another little entity, I know how this works. You know, I know what happens when the neighbors show up and they're fussing and all this, and you know, and rightfully so. My client has actually been out there bush hogging that property. To say they haven't done anything to clean it up is not true. In fact, it was there all this weekend. So, you know,
Well, he owns the property,
I
that's his
know,
job.
I know, and that's the cleaning up that Tim's talking about.
But let me ask you this.
So-
Going off of what Ms. Rocco said.
Right.
The property owner, it's his trailer park.
Right,
Okay?
yes.
You letting this guy put his trailer on there, he's not paying his rent, and
Right.
he's gotta move. In that case, if the guy says, no, I'm not moving, would not the property owner go move the trailer for him?
Yeah, that's just what I said.
That's what we're attempting to do, but you can't just walk out there, hook up to it, and haul it away. You gotta go through court to do it. And so, part of the problem is that 20 of the trailers that I just talked to you about are tied up in the state of Sammy Williams, which is a whole different entity, not us. So, I'm just trying to tell you, this is a little bit more complicated than it appears at first sight. All I'm suggesting to you is that you asked me to go ahead and make progress. We restored the water. Now we're working on the sewer. We're going through the DEQ, which is exactly what you told me to do last time.
That's right.
And so, we've submitted the plan, or will be submitted by tomorrow. If they approve it, then we're gonna go ahead and reinstall the sewer at great expense, I might add. They didn't spend $35,000 just to ignore y'all, you know, and what they've
Yeah.
been doing out there.
Ma'am,
So-
you had one last thing to say?
Yes, now he said that they've been, you know, bush hogging and everything every once in a while,
Okay.
but not constant.
Didn't say that.
Well, we have bigger issues. Thank you very much. All right, so we have a few things. Taking them off the rolls to tell the tax assessor. We also have the issue of condemning all of the trailers and letting Mississippi Power know that all of them are condemned and there should be no power. What is the board's pleasure?
Don't take them off the roll. They don't pay their taxes, eventually you're gonna execute them.
Keep somebody liable for the tax.
If they're worth anything, I don't know what they're
Right.
worth.
Keep them on the roll, I would think, but I don't know about.
Well,
that.
Sharon, what was your point about that?
Well, the assessor, she's at a funeral right now, but she can't just take it off the roll because you say take it off the roll. She says the only thing she could do is somebody has to say, when she needs, first of all, she said that she asked Virginia, I see I wrote her name down, Virginia to go out there with her, for her to go look and tell her all the ones that are unlivable, like the roof fell in. Because if they're anything like a storage shed, she has to leave them on the roll. Like a
Well,
storage
that's
shed
fine.
at $25 a year is what they are.
But how do we keep from paying constables to go serve people who aren't there? How do we save taxes?
Well, I don't want them off the roll, but the assessor said that she needs to go out there with them, but no one will go out there with her to go through each serial number to make sure the one that she's looking at is the one that she's got on the roll and take it off the roll, because it's non-livable.
We got 5 safety officers,
Yeah.
pick one.
But I would like to say though, City of D'Iberville did condemn a bunch of mobile homes. The taxes were delinquent. They were never paid. They went out, they had them all demolished, gave us a special assessment. We put a special assessment on the land, which mean they had to pay the $30,000 cleanup fee. I do believe it was 30,000 if I remember
That's what
correctly.
we were
I
thinking
think that
about doing.
situation was a little bit different in that the trailers were owned by the same people, so I don't think we should mix those apples with those oranges at this point. It's a separate proceeding dealing with the trailers, Mr. Holman's told you that. You know, if they need someone to go out there, and we'll gladly cooperate to go ahead and give them access to go through it, determine which ones have to be demolished.
Paula said she can
All
go
of
this
them can
week.
be demolished as far as we're concerned, all of them.
Now,
was
you're
ready to
saying
go.
you're in the legal process
Yes, sir.
of the owner of the property is in the legal process of having the owners of the trailers evicted.
Correct.
And the trailer itself.
Correct. And/or demolished in place.
And or demolished. But
Right.
that, you're going through that legal process
We
through the
are.
court system.
We are. One of the owners, unfortunately, is either, well, I have to get with the sheriff about this, Mr. Hutchinson, I think has been a visitor at the jail, so he may still be there, I'm not sure. His name is Samuel Hutchinson. Want to check, see if he's a renter with you.
I'm paying his taxes there, I can tell you.
Okay.
All right.
So,
The problem would be that if we were to take any action that we're not legally, if that's in the court system, or necessarily to go through the court system, and we take some action, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
I think the posture it's before the board is, we have a declaration that the property is a blighted property. When it's a blighted property, the county should go in and clean the property to remove the blight. This is where this becomes a question, is what does clean mean? It says, can you remove all the trailers if they're dilapidated? The county could do that and assess it against the property.
Right.
Whether the property owner owns them or not, it's his property, it's supposed to be clean. Or the board can give him some more time to get those, at least get those trailers removed. Mr. Ladner was here at one hearing that claimed he owned the trailers.
I've told them every single time, they need to come here, and I don't need to be their voice box, because I'm not representing. There's a new Attorney General's opinion, Tim, that just came out this past month. I'll be glad to send it to you. Deals with removal of vehicles, dilapidated, or what do you want to call it, derelict vehicles from property, and it talks about the process. I think it's very similar and analogous to what we're dealing with, because the trailer is nothing more than personal property.
He's probably talking about the menace property statute. The difference between the menace property statute and the blighted statute is the menace property statute has a limit on how much money you can spend.
Right.
The blighted property statute does not, which is why we used it.
But if I may, wouldn't the next immediate step be to have Paula and Eric go out there and see which ones are condemnable or not livable? So at least
remove the power from them so there's nobody staying in them.
I have no objection.
at least do that.
So maybe the sheriff could send a deputy with Paula, so she
That-
would.
and should it be this board and, the attorney of the owner of the property send them a notice that they are about to be evicted, or their property is about to be destroyed if they don't,
We gotta do.
and it's gonna charge against their taxes if they don't move it within a certain period of time, so we have a time frame again.
I'll provide all that contact information to Mr. Holloman of who the attorneys are that represent those entities, and only Mr. Hutchinson is not represented by counsel.
All right, thank you, Malcolm. We have one last gentleman that wanted to say something. Sir, what is your name and address, please?
James Moran. I live at 18210 Braden Road and also own 18159 property. Again, they're talking, they came out like one time and bush hogged, and that was probably after the May meeting. Grass weeds are still this tall. There's more parts and pieces of the trailers laying around, stuff out of the trailers, junk everywhere. In the last week and a half, someone has been out there and they had roof overs, metal roof overs done on 2 of the trailers. They removed all of the sheet metal from those roofs, and the people are still coming out there pulling siding off those trailers. There isn't a single unit out there that's livable. Half of them are starting to look like skeletons because half the stuff's been removed, insulation, stuff everywhere.
Okay.
And at May meeting, again, this place was declared blighted. Everyone was supposed to be out. The letters went out, were posted on Treasury. Everybody's supposed to be gone by May 31st. The lady still is living in trailer 15, and the power is, like the power's still on. No running water, no sewer. The house is not livable. They were supposed to have been evicted by May 31st.
All right, thank you.
Can I make a suggestion to the board?
Yes.
We've already declared it a blighted property. I don't know whether the road department will do this or who. Send somebody out to do a survey, determine what is blighted, what is salvageable, and report back to the board at the next meeting. If we get it by Monday, then the board can say, if their trailers aren't removed by X date, if you think it's salvageable, at that point, the board's gonna go in and tear it.
I don't know about the road department, but the Paula and Eric definitely probably need to go.
Yeah.
I can go do it this afternoon.
Well, the road department's gonna have to crush them up and take them out. Somebody needs to go that knows about that aspect of it.
Okay.
I
Neil
think
or
the
Renee,
most
Neil,
appropriate
could you,
to
are you
determine
available?
blighted, how blighted
To go
it
with
would
him?
be Eric and
I can take,
Yeah.
I can take one of the building inspectors with me.
Tim, when you say the next meeting, you mean next Monday?
And we're gonna report by Monday, yeah.
We'll have a report.
Okay.
If you-
So I'm not gonna be available on that
And we needed Mr. Ladner's address, because if his trailers are
Okay.
gonna be taken out, he needs to know he's gonna move them, or they're gonna get moved.
Okay.
Would be my recommendation to the board. You've already declared it a blight, so we're gonna have a survey done by the next meeting. Then the board will know what it's dealing with as to what it can remove and what it can't remove.
So Eric's gonna go this afternoon, you're gonna take
Tim,
Tim.
because I wasn't involved at the very beginning, when y'all did the original letter, and maybe this is a question for Eric or someone, did they go ahead and just go against the owner of the property, or did they go against the owners of the trailers?
Under the blighted property statute, the owner of the property is responsible for the blight.
I think there are separate proceedings and separate requirements for notification of the owners of the
Well,
trailers.
we're fixing to give them notice.
Okay.
Either
And then
move
you
it,
start
or it's
that
gonna be
process.
moved.
Yeah. But you can do that and then start that process with the trailers.
All right, thank you.
Now, my position is he left it on somebody else's property, it's been declared a blight, if he doesn't want it moved, then we'll take that up with him at that time.
Okay.
He's left it there, he knows about it, because that man, Mr. Ratner, was here.
Yeah, I was not at that meeting, but I was told he was notified.
So, I don't know how he rents somebody else's property.
Hutchins is not in custody.
But I had 13 rental properties that I inherited, and I had the same kind of issue. But several of them left, but left their vehicles there, including an RV. And I had to pay to have them removed, but I could have them removed as a property owner. I could have them removed, even though I didn't own the RV or
We're not
car.
talking about removing
You're talking about
usable
destroying.
trailers. We're talking about if the trailer is in a blighted condition, it's caved in, all the
Right.
metal's been ripped off of it.
No, he
And
wants
this
them all.
board has the authority to order that cleaned.
All right, let's move on. Do we have the authority now to tell Mississippi Power, though, to make sure the power is off, or
Yes.
should we wait until the end of the week?
I think they're gonna go out and check it.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to have our road people or maybe code and road go out to, code and road, and go out there and, we've already declared it, you know, blighted, so now it's time to take a survey and start the machinery.
Trust me, I've been there about 20 times.
Well, we
And
need a report back to say
it's very simple.
Mhm.
The
There is-
majority of them are at a stage that you couldn't even walk into it.
You need to mark them.
Eric has
Yeah,
the
I'll mark.
ability to.
All right,
With
thank
the
you, Eric.
big red X or something, that's what they did
I
after.
can do that. Paint's easy.
So we need to table this until Monday.
All right, do we have a motion to table?
Okay, Eric. But
We're
what about,
tabling a status, that's all we're talking about.
You know, we're gonna try to find out what needs to be, what is blighted and what is usable, so you can tell what you're dealing with as far as
so you don't want any motions until,
Tim, you can go ahead and make the motion about condemning, directing the village
Yeah, I'll
to
second.
condemn anything that's being lived in, so they can
All right.
disconnect the power.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed?
What we just voted on.
Oh, sorry.
no,
we
no,
don't.
no, no.
Condemning the one.
Well, what we got to talk about is to have code and the road department go out there.
The road department doesn't have the qualifications.
Well,
You
code
got Eric
office.
and you got the code office.
The code office to go out there.
Eric says he can do it himself.
Okay. then-
Let Eric go out and determine whether the property is,
And then he can come
blighted
back
or
and,
not.
and tell us whether or not we need to have the road department.
That was the motion.
The road department will be involved
If.
cleaning it up
agree.
if we declare it blighted. Then they will go out and clean it up.
All right, do you understand the motion, Mandy? All right. All
Just
those-
code, not
Just
road.
code, and I'd like Neil to go with you, please, or my
And you
second.
still got Paula, who needs to know
Paula.
something too. So we
And
can get them
Paula.
off the roll before we've got to do those judgments in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I can hold off to give y'all time.
All right, please speak to Paula for us, okay? All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Motion
There's
to
nothing
table.
to table, it's a
Yes,
status.
you have to table it. You've got a blighted property petition that is pending. It's already been determined to be blighted. You can table it to allow them to clean it up, so you have to keep it on your
Oh.
minutes so that we can deal with it. otherwise it's over.
So I'll move the table.
All right, I have a motion. Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, consent agenda items number 9 through 15 have been placed in the consent agenda, same appearing to be routine, non-controversial matters on which all supervisors are likely to agree. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 16, order approving in-county travel reimbursement for the tax assessor's office as listed. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 17, order approving education salary increase in the amount of $2,000 annually each for tax collector employees Brandy Bowen, Tiana Johnson, Madison Lumpkin, and Irvin Sella Castillo, who have attained certification as a collector of revenue, CR1, as provided for in section 27-1-51 and 27-1-67 of the Mississippi Code. That would be effective October 1st of this year, and is within the budget. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 18, order approving the subdivision application for the Dogwood Hills subdivision Phase 4, Units 3 and 4, located in Section 5, Township 6 South, Range 10 West, Supervisors Voting District 5, 1st Judicial District, as recommended by Jacqueline Turner, P.E., Harrison County Engineer, as follows.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 19, order approving assumption of 23 streetlights in the Highlands subdivision Phase 1 and 2, located in Section 18, Township 6 South, Range 9 West, Supervisors Voting District 1, 1st Judicial District, in accordance with the Harrison County Land Development Ordinance, as recommended by Jacqueline Turner, P.E., Harrison County Engineer. Motion?
A motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Jackie, this is normal? I don't know where Jackie is.
Yes, the lights have been there, they've been on, they've been paying the bill, and it's now time to assume that bill.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 20, order acknowledging the receipt of the closeout documents transmitted by Mandels, Inc. for the metal roof and siding replacement Harrison County Fire Services project, approved by Jacqueline Turner, County Engineer, and authorizing execution of the following documents related thereto. Motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
I know where they can get some metal.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 21, order authorizing and approving the attached quitclaim deed and notice of partial termination of easement related to property east and west to Shaw Road, south of West Wortham Road. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 22, order approving payment of invoice number FP10000253 from Communications International in the amount of $101,742.28 for the IP-MPLS microwave maintenance replacement project, as recommended by Harrison County Emergency Communications Commission at their meeting August 15th of this year, payable from 097-287-922. Motion?
Motion?
Discussion, maintenance replacement. What is that?
It's a project.
Maintenance replacement.
So this project is to replace the previous microwave system. So I don't think maintenance is the right word.
Yeah, that, you see, we put this stuff in that it can be somewhat confusing. When you
Yes,
talk
sir,
about maintenance, you're maintaining something that's already in place.
I apologize.
You're replacing this, this is a replacement project.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
That's all I need to know, the maintenance program.
Delete the word maintenance.
So you want to redo the resolution and resubmit, or do we just go forward and adjudicate the wording?
I think the resolution's okay, it's just the way it is on the agenda.
No, the resolution actually says maintenance and replacement.
I don't think you have to change it as much as it's been
Okay.
explained.
Microwave system
Let
maintenance
me
slash
ask you this.
replacement.
Part of the replacement, is there a maintenance agreement with the replacement of the new system? Is there a maintenance agreement in there?
So there's not an ongoing maintenance included with this.
I don't want to overstate it, it's just somewhat confusing when you say maintenance.
But it's all through that resolution.
Yeah, it says maintenance several times.
I don't think that's a big problem, really, it's.
Strike maintenance and move forward, I would say, in the resolution.
You're in effect maintaining the system by replacing a part of it, so it's no, I don't think that makes a huge difference.
I don't
Okay.
need a dead horse. There you go.
All right.
That was a good point.
Yeah. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 23, order authorizing and approving the transfer of surplus equipment to the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College Telecommunications Tower Technician Program as recommended by Harrison County Emergency Communications Commission at their August 15th meeting of this year. Motion?
Second, I thought we already did this.
So these are the old parts that, from the old system that came down. They're no longer serviceable. We just have to dispose of them. The college has a use for them, though, as part of their program. The students can practice on these old parts.
But I mean, we didn't do this at the last meeting. I don't know why.
Probably did, but it was a different parts and different stuff, so it probably was.
This looks familiar.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 24, order approving, thank you, Matt. Order approving training and travel for Robert Bailey and Robert Clark to attend the L3 Harris Users Conference and Training Symposium, September 11th through 15th, 2023, in Mobile, Alabama, as recommended by Harrison County Emergency Communications Commission at their August 15th, 2023 meeting. The total projected cost is $800. It's within budget, payable from 097-287-476. Motion?
Second.
Discussion?
Now
All the-
11.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Fire Services, order authorizing purchase of signs from HB 1353 funds for the following fire stations with funding allocated as follows.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 26, order authorizing purchase of rescue tool mounts for fire apparatus from Sidens Martin Equipment Group for $3,945 payable from the state rebate fund, and authorize a budget amendment to 103-250-921. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed?
Wait, we're amending this coming up budget or this year?
This year's.
It would have to be this year's budget.
It's the state rebate money. It's that we get.
Put it in there.
So he's just making an amendment because it's already been received.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Mosquito control, order approving the sole source purchase from Adapco LLC for Remoa Tri Triple Action Adult Size Space Spray.
Excuse me, would you say?
Manufactured by Valent Sciences LLC at a cost of $26,100 for a quantity of 3 30-gallon drums payable from 001-412-580 for purchase, and it's attached below. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 28, order approving out-of-state travel as listed. Motion?
Second, they don't wanna wait till our Buc-ee's opens.
Yeah, I know, right? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 30, order concurring with the Planning Commission's decision. Go ahead. Sorry, I do it to you every time.
Zoning recommends concurring with the planning commission's approval for cases 30 through 32.
30, 31, and 32.
I got a 33.
Any discussion? Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 33, order concurring with the Sheriff's Department on employment as listed and as on file with the payroll clerk and human resources department. Motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 34, order concurring with intervention court on personnel change as listed and as on file with the payroll clerk and personnel department. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 35, order concurring with the road manager on employment as listed and as on file with the payroll clerk and personnel human resources department. Motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second, I'm sorry.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 36, order spreading upon the minutes personnel changes of the district attorney's office as listed and as on file with the payroll clerk and personnel human resources department. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 37, order concurring with the county administrator on employment as listed and as on file with the payroll clerk and personnel human resources department. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 38, order approving payment of claims listed payable from the tort account. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 39, order adjudicating and approving the purchase of 250 influenza vaccines to be administered by medical analysis for Harrison County employees at a cost of $25 per vaccine.
Motion.
Do we have a second?
You only need 240.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Recognizing Sheriff Troy Peterson as he reports on the number of persons currently housed in the Harrison County Jail. Sheriff?
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Almost noon.
Yes. Currently we have 713, 72 misdemeanors, 122 females, 28 federal inmates, and 127 state inmates.
Thank you.
Might have plus one misdemeanor this afternoon when that fella goes.
I hope he does.
We have more females than usual, huh?
Yeah, it's usually about 100.
Oh, okay.
85 to 100.
All right, 41, order approving the amendment of the memorandum of understanding between the Harrison County School District and Harrison County Sheriff's Office to provide law enforcement services for 1 year and spreading the same upon the minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Yes.
Discussion?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Order authorizing the purchase of ballistic protection for the Harrison County Sheriff's Office from Mid-South Uniform and Supply, Inc. at a cost of $32,625. State contract number 8200065174, payable from 001-200-613, and authorizing county administrator to transfer funds from 001-211-432. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 43, order approving the sole source purchase of taser cartridges from Axon Enterprises, Inc. at a cost of $10,230, payable from 001-200-613, and authorizing county administrator to transfer funds from 001-211-432. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 44, order authorizing the board president to execute the final reporting for Senate Bill 3065, sheriff's funding for the Harrison County Law Enforcement Training Academy, and authorizing county comptroller to close that bank account. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 45, order approving the attached line item transfers within the sheriff's budget. Motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 46, order authorizing the low quote purchase from Secret Coast Security for additional cameras at the Harrison County Law Enforcement Training Academy in the amount of $9,800 payable from 001-200-921 and authorizing county administrator to transfer funds from 001-211-432. Motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 47, order rescinding agenda item number 28, 22-1564 on 9/6/2022 agenda, ordering asset number 28431 be disposed of. Disposal of asset number 28431 was done in error. Item remains at the Mississippi Department of Human Services. Also rescinding asset number 22445 of item number 3421-1946, approved on 9/27/2021. Asset was disposed of by mistake. It was verified that the asset is located in the tax assessor's office in Gulfport. Motion?
Motion. Second, what are these things?
Yeah, good question.
Gives a number, don't say what it
I believe it was, printers, some type of printers, or copiers, one of the other. But since we had to send out the inventory list and the departments are turning those back in, we're finding some other issues, so we're correcting on the inventory.
You don't have some envelopes.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And Nathan Barrett, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. Our supervisor-elect for District 5. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you came back. All right.
Used to it.
All right, 48, we voted on that, right, Mandy?
48.
On 7? 47, okay. 48, order authorizing disposal of assets per attached list and authorizing the inventory clerk to remove the same from the inventory. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 49, order approving mileage reimbursement for travel for the following employees. Motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 50, order approving closeout of Open Doors Homeless Coalition, Era 1 and 2. That's the program of relocation, be back to the Department of Treasury of any remaining funds in Era 2.
Motion.
Second, discussion, why would we have any remaining funds? We have so many people who are having a homeless problem.
It had to be spent by a certain time.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So the ERA, the Emergency Rental Assistance Funds, are for those individuals and households impacted by COVID. And so we are just at a loss of finding any eligible applicants who meet the criteria, the very strict criteria from the Department of Treasury.
But you helped quite a few.
Yes, I believe 74% of ERA 2 has been spent. Is that right, Pam? And so altogether, let's see, ERA 1 and 2, we have spent $8,122,328.13, serving over 3,000 households in Harrison County.
And y'all did a great job.
Now,
Thank
that-
you.
That assistance in, they're gonna have to pick up the full tab, I presume.
That's correct. And we've actually, it's been about 2 months now that we have expended the funds that you all had given to us. And so we have not served any more households since that time, and people are making it work. While there are individual COVID emergencies, there's not the public emergency that existed before. Many employers are searching for folks to work, and, you know, it's just, some of the ESG COVID monies that were also part of the CARES Act they're all sunsetting on September 30th. And so it's really just time for us to get back to business as usual.
All right, thank you.
Madam President?
Yes.
You were here during our situation with the trailer park. I
Yes.
think. Is there anything that you know of or any agency that we can direct those people to that may be able to help them?
I was thinking as I was listening to it all, they would, due to the fact that they're living in uninhabitable conditions.
Smaller.
Yes, I mean, if you don't have running water, sewer, or power, it's uninhabitable. And so they can meet requirements for rapid rehousing, assuming their income and things like that meet the criteria. But they could certainly call us at our phone number. We can do a full assessment.
Okay, can, I don't know who.
What's
Not for
the
these
number?
ones.
What is the phone number?
I'll text Malcolm.
228-604-2048.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Good.
I
It's been a
appreciate it.
pleasure working with you all. The program's been just highly successful. We were able to prevent homelessness among, as I said, over 3,000 households, and able to assist the property owners and landlords who we could make whole during the time of the moratorium and everything else. So we appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. And we appreciate you and all the hard work that you did, because it wouldn't have happened without you, so thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now 51, order approving payment of the final invoice to Open Doors Homeless Coalition, the ERA Assistance Program 1 and 2 for administrative fees in the amount of $88,508.12. Motion.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Order adjudicating renewal of commercial excess flood insurance policy from Lloyd's of London for coverage from September 4th, 2023 to September 4th, 2024, as recommended by Cadence Insurance for property located at 257 Davis Avenue, Pass Christian, Mississippi, an increase from $1,708.49 to $2,123.55 due to the carrier requiring a 10% increase in that building's value. Motion?
Motion.
Is this the
Second?
county building?
Second.
Sorry, yeah.
Discussion.
Discussion. So it's a county building?
I mean, is it occupied or?
Yes, we lease it.
At least.
Okay.
It's a coastal family.
That's what.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 53, order approving submission of grant application in the amount of $75,000 with the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality to fund the 2024 annual Bring It Household Hazardous Waste Collection event at Mississippi Power's plant Jack Watson in Gulfport, and authorizing board president to execute the same. Motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 54, order approving out-of-state travel as listed.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 55, order adjudicating and approving the waiver of rental fees and spreading upon the minutes the following rental contracts for the fairgrounds. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Uh,
Greg is here.
Greg, yes, they had another on the waiver of the fees for the homeschool. But they also requested.
They're They're also requesting portalets, because they use the adjacent property that we have next to the fairgrounds, and we have no infrastructure out there. They just requested it, so.
For the county to pay.
And the cost of that would be $500.
Is that
Each
included in this
time?
motion?
Each time
Yes,
it'd be
ma'am.
500?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think
we- we don't normally.
Yeah, we don't normally do it, but.
So my motion is to adjudicate and approve the rental fees.
But not.
For A and
But
B.
not the portlets.
Is the portalet listed in here?
No, he
No,
had to
he
bring
just-
that up.
You did it extra, okay, so we can just vote on 55 as it is, and it would be okay. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Can they use the bathroom where they the 4-H building?
They could, but that building is not really open quite yet.
All right, talk to Tim Ray
Yes,
maybe
ma'am.
about, you know,
Thanks,
letting him
Bree,
use
for
it,
the
yeah.
Once or twice.
Right, but they can pay for theirs, okay. All right, 56, consider setting a date for a work session with the mayor to develop an RFP for ambulance service. Motion?
Motion.
Okay, second?
Madam President, is that gonna be, you do that, is the police chiefs and myself gonna be part of that, or is it gonna be?
They need to be, and I was gonna
You
suggest
should
that.
be, Sheriff.
Yeah, they need
That up to the
And the
mayor.
fire department.
And the fire department is
And
very
I would
good.
invite EOC Rupert if he'll do it, or if not Matt for sure, because that's
Yeah.
huge.
Absolutely.
During a disaster, all this is gonna have to take a time.
Yes, taking time like that. So let's reword this.
So well, letter
With
went
mayors
out,
and others.
notified, and it was like the
The
fire
mayors
chiefs
can bring
and
who
the
they
mayors
want.
to find out who they wanted to include, and so they should be.
Well, include the
listed in those
EOC.
Yeah,
last
those are our
one,
people.
Because that's
But yes,
important.
yeah.
Okay, should we change the wording, or we're good with this motion?
This is
This was
considered
a
setting a
start,
date.
just because they
It's
had
a
asked for
start. Pick a
it.
date.
Consider a date.
You're gonna have to bring all those people to the mayors, I guess.
So do we have do you have a date in mind?
I guess October.
We need to start pretty quickly because it's gonna take a while to develop the RFP.
Okay.
And
so
we're
let's
gonna
just
need a
pick
lot of input, so we may have several meetings.
Thursday.
Can I be a fly on the wall?
This
The
Thursday?
7th? Oh, who's that? This week? Do it this week? Wednesday, Thursday. I'm just throwing it out
I'm packed this week.
Which is gonna be the 7th.
there. Yeah, but I don't know.
How about-
Rebecca can do that.
Let's see this.
To do it next
Are you busy this week too?
Or next week. Y'all meet Monday the 11th.
Well,
Or the 12th.
this 12, no, I don't do that. Can we do the 7th at 1 o'clock? Does that work for everyone? This Thursday at
What day?
1?
7th, Thursday at
Yeah.
1.
Do you have
Yeah, go
wastewater?
ahead. That
Delegate
gets
myself
started.
as non-essential
Mhm.
person.
But I mean, that'll get
Is that
started.
okay?
So Thursday.
September
the 7th.
7th at 1. Is that too soon for mayors, you think?
Well,
No.
the letter went out for notifying them that we would
Okay.
be having one. I just have to give them the date.
Here,
Yeah. Be here in the board.
I think they want it done.
Yeah.
Okay, here in the Gulf Board,
Yeah.
boardroom.
Which is September 7th.
I mean, that'd be
So I'll send those same,
Do you need a quorum? Because I may not be available either.
it's a work session.
Oh, okay. So we don't need a quorum then.
Okay, so, okay.
The 11th? What'd you say it was?
The 7th, this Thursday, 1 PM in this room.
That's fine. We're not meeting
Are you okay not to, you said you weren't available, are you
anyway. I'm
okay?
actually not sure either.
Okay,
But they don't need a quorum.
but we don't need a
It's
quorum,
just,
okay.
it's a work session, so we'll have plenty of meetings, I'm sure.
All right, and while we're speaking of calendars, we have to do a third meeting in Gulfport, normally the last Monday of the month, but I'm not available the last Monday, so maybe could y'all all do Friday the 22nd at 11 a.m., and that's just to pay bills, it won't be long. Friday the 20th.
Madam President, who requested that?
Third meeting, I sent
Oh,
a thing notice
okay,
saying
you're
that we
closing
needed to
out
have
the-
a third meeting, yeah.
That's right, we normally do the closeout, the
It's not gonna be,
POs in the year, fiscal year.
Okay.
so the 22nd.
Y'all okay with Friday the 22nd at 11 a.m.? Should be very
11 or-
brief.
Early.
I'm not gonna be here, I'm gonna be out
You wanna say 10:30?
I know y'all need me.
All right, so let's say 10:30.
10:30 in Gulfport.
10:30 in Gulfport.
Right.
Yes, and third meeting,
22nd.
10:30, okay. All right. Okay, where can we go? 57, order authorizing the transfer from the CACFP Fund 063-900-950 to the General Fund 001-000-387 in the amount of $1,732.74 to close out the fund. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
So we don't have to send this money back?
We don't have to send the money back, Pam?
I mean, like we had to send it back. She had to send it back.
Oh, no, I don't know, it's Jennifer's, it doesn't have the backup, so I can't look at it.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 58, order authorizing the COVID funds transfer in the amount of $262,768.29 to the following funds to close out the fund. Federal program is closed. Pro rata allocation detail is attached. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 59, order authorizing the reimbursement to the road fund 150-000-360 in the amount of $8,714.03 payable from the general fund 001-180-581 for delivery and pickup of voting equipment for a primary election. Details attached. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 60, order authorizing the reimbursement to the Bridge Fund 160-000-361 in the amount of $21.88 for auto decals made for Code Department payable from 001-155-656. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 61, order authorizing the reimbursement to the Road Fund 150-000-360 in the amount of $203.99 payable from General Fund 001-520-581 for demolition of the bathrooms at 3 Rivers Ball Field. Details attached. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 62, order acknowledging receipt of the July 2023 travel and procurement cards as follows. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 63, order authorizing the reimbursement to the Bridge Fund 160-000-361 in the amount of $64.71 payable from the Fire Services Fund 106-250-656 for vehicle decals. Details attached. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 64, order authorizing the repayment to the General Fund 001-200-542 in the amount of $26.16 payable from the Fire Services Fund 106-250-542 for repair work performed on fire services vehicles. Details attached. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 65, order approving payment of claims listed. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 66, order approving claims docket per Mississippi Code of 1972, annotated section 191327. Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 67, order approving the final recapitulation. Recapitulation? Oh, I took Latin and I don't even know what this means. Recapitulation, real and personal property assessment rolls in the 1st and 2nd judicial districts of Harrison County, Mississippi, and authorizing board members to execute the same.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
They recap.
Yes. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 68, order adjudicating and authorizing expenditures as listed as necessary to advertise and bring into favorable notice the opportunities, possibilities, and resources of Harrison County, Mississippi, including the logo being displayed along with the link to Harrison County online. And I want to start adding, showing proof after the fact that it was done. Because I still don't think we have that in writing. I think our PIO, maybe I know Kim started to, right?
Yeah.
She has a checklist and she's been working on.
You have,
Yeah.
Valerie? Okay. Thank you. All right. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed?
Wait a minute. No.
Oh.
Don't have a motion.
Oh, sorry. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
No, it wasn't.
Sorry.
Make the motion.
Discussion.
Change it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Again, no.
Motion carries. 69, order approving Nativity BVM Elementary Catholic School's request to use county equipment, the grill and the fryer, to assist in hosting its 65th annual Halloween Carnival, October 13th and 14th of this year. County will be listed as a sponsor on all carnival advertising and promotions. Motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion. Tim, are we all right on that?
You are, as long as you include in there that you are, it's necessary to advertise, bring favorable notice to the county. I think we're okay with it.
Okay.
And it's open to the public.
It's on the letter.
And it's open to the public.
It's open to the public. Are they paying to notice that?
They'll buy the food, but they get in free.
That's,
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Number 70, order reappointing Scott D. Smith as a member of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College Board of Trustees, representing Supervisor Voting District 1 for a term ending May 5th, 2028.
Motion.
Discussion, second discussion. I don't know Mr. Smith, and I'm sure he does a good job. But I don't think this is right, that this appointment be made when the district, your term, Beverly, ends in January.
Well, you can take him off.
To commit that to.
But his term is actually
2028.
up in May and it was an oversight. I didn't realize. When Connie did, Ms. Pappas on tourism, her term was up in May or June.
Tourism is a little different because they can be
But he
removed.
likes doing it.
But that's why I'm voting no. I don't think we should, that commitment should be made now.
Well, I'll stand by the motion.
Do what, I'm sorry?
I said I would like to let my motion stand.
Okay, yeah.
Please.
So we have a motion and you did a second for discussion, right? But if he's voting no.
Second.
Oh, okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
No.
Motion carries. 71, order concurring with the Harrison County School District Board of Education in a 16-section public school trust land commercial lease with PMAT Sterling Crossroads LLC and authorizing board president to execute the same. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 72, Order approving renewal of contract for collection of 2022 delinquent personal property taxes between Wessler Law Firm and Harrison County. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
None, the only discussion is none of the conditions changed in that contract. Same thing.
And the county actually does not pay the fee.
That's
It comes out of the tax bill. Has to pay it.
Good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 73, order approving sub-award agreement between Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality and Harrison County Board of Supervisors for the Mississippi Sound Coalition Project and authorizing the board president to execute the same. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion. Is this part of your,
That's the state grant, from the state giving Go Mesa funds for the Save the Sound Coalition. That's the 1.5 million they committed to.
to the,
Where does
The Senate, the legislature approved that for our budget.
for your
That'll
budget?
come.
Through Harrison County, to the Sound Coalition.
Yeah,
Protect the
that's-
Sound
okay,
Coalition.
that's what I was trying to figure out, if that was if it was. Okay, thank you.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 74, order acknowledging receipt of the resolution from the City of Gulfport City Council regarding the amendment to the terms of the EMS interlocal agreement to run annually from February 1st through January 31st. Motion?
Motion.
Second discussion can be explained.
Tim, it's
I'm
just the,
sorry, I couldn't hear you.
she wanted you to explain the resolution.
The contract on that required a 90 days notice to terminate, and so the city went in and gave notice.
But they still want to talk.
They still want to talk. They just-
That's to give us time.
Right. Just to
To
give us
give them
time.
time. In case,
So we can get in sync.
So if you don't get in
if
sync,
you don't, then
they've got the
they can
notice to
move.
keep.
They can proceed.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 75, order approving the temporary use of county equipment, a trash truck by Sacred Heart Catholic Church needed to assist in hosting its 97th annual bazaar, October 13th through 15th of this year. Motion?
Second discussion. That is the same application, the wording needs to be the same.
Yes, it needs to have the language in there about advertising county resource, which it does in the attached resolution.
It does in
within
the
the
letter.
Agenda.
Right.
Okay.
Needs to be necessary to advertise the resources of the county.
In
Same way.
the attachment, it's in there.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion
I don't know.
carries.
That's a good question.
Who would be driving the truck? Yeah. Okay, 76.
I guess so.
They just park it.
I think they just park it in the
And fill it out, okay.
Or it's-
Order authorizing and approving the use of D'Iberville Civic Center by the City of D'Iberville for Cruising the Coast, October 2nd through 9th of this year, pursuant to the terms of the interlocal government cooperation agreement between the city and Harrison County. Motion?
Motion.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 77, order adjudicating and approving the deployment of a Harrison County firefighting team, fire truck, and support vehicles, equipment under the Emergency Management Assistance Compact to Louisiana to fight brush wood fires in their area for up to 14 days, all costs to be reimbursed. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 78, order approving travel for Bobby Trosclair to attend Mississippi Recreation and Park Association 2023 Annual Conference in Tupelo, Mississippi, September 18th through 20th of this year, an estimated total cost of $750. Oh, that's it. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Holloman.
I don't think I have anything unless the board has any questions.
Thank you. Mr. McAdams?
No, ma'am, I just appreciate you recessing, not adjourning.
Recessing, not adjourning. Got it. Okay, thank you. Dr. Ladner? Mr. Jones, a question? I'll go next. I think I really just had a question. We've gotten several complaints about guns and firearms being shot in the air. Beverly and I were even asked about it at an event. And Beverly had a good point that our ordinance needs to be maybe revisited. The wording doesn't seem to jive with the enforcement of it. Do you mind just looking into
Something
that?
doesn't match.
Yeah, what was it, 50 feet or?
One of them said within so many feet of a residence, but
Ordinance
then
was
somewhere
passed.
else it had a different.
The ordinance was passed to prevent
Right.
shooting ranges within so many feet of residential areas is primarily what it was done.
And I've got it somewhere, but it,
We changed it, this is something me and Tim have brought up numerous times, but we've changed it to, I want to say 1,000 feet.
something's not matching.
Something like, along those lines, but what it should say, the bottom line is it should say any projectile that crosses another person's property.
Something
Can
along
be done
those
with it, that's what it should say.
Shooting in the air would not be covered by that ordinance at all.
Well, and they were more talking about they would get shot, their back porch was getting shot up, and, but when the guy brought it to us, we were at a function with the Republican Club,
Yeah,
and there was it didn't match.
there's a discrepancy.
Yes.
So maybe just look into that.
Choice points makes sense.
Yeah,
Projectile does not cross over into somebody
Projectile
else's
crosses another
property.
person's property, so it's done, you can charge somebody that more.
Okay.
You gotta prove it, but I mean.
Somebody brought
Yeah,
it
you
up
charge.
Yeah,
to us at the time.
yeah.
But when that ordinance was really originally adopted, it had to do with somebody had a shooting range near a
Near their
residential
home.
area, so they were disturbing the peace. And it was a danger to,
I think we changed it to 1,000 feet, or.
I don't remember
That
being
was
changed, I thought it was
that was what we
300.
I
proposed.
thought it was
Change.
300, but somewhere along the lines it needs, there was something that didn't match up.
I'll look at it,
If
but
you
you
wouldn't
know,
mind.
Thank you.
And I
shooting in the
probably got
air,
it
you know,
somewhere.
that's a more of disturbing the peace than it is.
Yeah, I think their
That
problem
ordinance
was,
was designed to
they didn't
prevent
like the fact that we had a gun ordinance.
We'll look at it
Right.
and tell us what you're trying to address and
And
we'll.
we tried
As long
to
as it
tell-
matches.
Yeah, we were trying to tell them that we did it for public safety reasons because of the proximity.
I remember the gentleman that was complaining about, but that ordinance was not designed, as I recall, what his complaint was not designed to prevent that. He
Okay.
didn't want shooting at all.
Gotcha.
And that's in a rural area, is a little bit of a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point. All right, and then one other thing, if we could approve our trunk or treat that we have every year at the fairgrounds to be held on Tuesday, October 31st at the Harris County
On
Fairgrounds.
which day?
On Halloween night.
Okay.
It's so dark out there and it gives the children a place to go
Yeah,
instead of walking down the street. So,
Motion.
thank
So
you.
we have a budget?
Yes, he does.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. That's it for me. Supervisor Martin?
Yeah, Lord, I'm getting bombarded here. So, the city of Biloxi, I didn't get a resolution, but I will, I didn't think they needed permission. They wanted to get permission to use the new Harrison County parking lot. That's the old federal courthouse property in Biloxi for cruising the coast again this year. Do they need permission? It's a public parking lot.
Public parking lot, but they're gonna do it exclusively, they'll need permission. In other words, they're gonna exclude the public.
The
from
public will
restricting.
be,
I know, but if somebody doesn't have an antique, they won't let people park in there that
I don't know.
If they're gonna
I
do
don't
probably
think
need
so.
permission so that they can have it.
It's Wednesday, October 4th from 8 to 3. So do I get a resolution from them?
Oh, because their business is going on probably.
Yeah.
I think I'd get them to do a resolution and put it on the minutes so that if somebody tries to
Okay.
go in there and park, it's not part of the cruising, they can tell them we've got the use of it. That's gonna be your conflict, is somebody else says I can park
They
here.
did
but I
it
won't.
last year and there wasn't, they suspended court, justice and chancery on that day because people couldn't get to it anyway, but I'll get them, ask them that. And then the other thing I had was, I think I know the answer to this, but I thought I'd ask. There is a Big Level country store that wanted to use the grill and flyer for advertising county resources, but it's a private business, so
Yeah,
I'm
that's
thinking.
Stone County, that's, big level grocery.
I just said
Rockwell goes there
I
all
just
the
said
time.
I'd bring it up. That's all I
Wanna
said.
use our group?
I'd bring it up. I told him I didn't think that was gonna
I
fly.
mean, if they're raising money for a trip, for, you know, a cause, they could
Yeah.
do it, I would think, but.
And this other one, I think I got some time on. This Uplift Foundation, they're a nonprofit, and apparently we waived their rental at the Diablo Civic Center, but let me just look at it. So I just got it.
Wanna wait on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Is that it? Okay, Supervisor Rocco?
I'm very happy to say I have nothing to say.
All right. Ms. Ulrich?
I just want to let everybody know that I will be retiring at the end of this year.
Oh, wow. Pam's retiring with your drafter.
Yeah.
That's
Good for you, congratulations.
So I guess for January.
How many years?
38, let's see, 28 years as a county administrator and almost 40 years of public service.
Wow.
Good.
Congratulations. Yeah, nice retirement, still young to enjoy life. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. Sorry. I think we did this last time, but I do have the resolution. It was for the use of the trailer at the Biloxi Seafood Festival. Does that sound familiar?
No.
I think
We already did that.
we did, but did I, here's the copy of the resolution.
You're already
Just in case.
36 years.
I had it in my
You need it?
phone.
You were good? Okay.
Yeah, I had it in my phone.
All
That
right.
was it.
Chair?
I got a couple things. I talked to Pam about this. We got the cameras, the new cameras that came in. Willie put them up for us last time. He just needs permission to put them up again. It's solar cameras that he's putting up, and they're putting them on county poles, and he knows where the poles are, and it's, instead of paying a company to do it, he can just drive out there and do it with his truck. Just need permission for that. We did, but I just want to make sure that it's on the minutes.
Do you need a motion for that?
I don't think so, I just need his approval.
Does it work?
I don't have a problem.
Yeah. The second thing is during budget, we didn't talk about this, but I think y'all talked about it afterwards, was any kind of RFPs or RFQs that went out for services that are rendered right now because they're gonna be up in January. Do we need to go out for them now? I've already talked to Matt, and he said that he's fine. He's kind of on the same degree I am. Everybody needs a chance, no matter who it is, they just need a chance to bid.
Did we not do the mill?
No, we didn't do any, as far as I know, y'all didn't do anything.
We didn't do any of them. We were gonna, I was putting them on the next agenda with the list of all of them.
Okay.
So-
Okay. So just wait till.
But the mills.
Also, I'll put it on the agenda.
Okay, and the third thing was, we sent a letter to Memorial to end the MOU with Memorial for September, like mid-September. Hadn't heard back from them, so if y'all get any calls from them, that's what it's about. In this,
Why?
the supervisor out there sees things a different way than what we do. He wants to go a different route, which is gonna cost him, in the long run, it's gonna cost them double what they're paying now, but it's just, I've talked to the doctors and the nurses, they're all upset, they're mad, but there's nothing I can do about it, you know, it's,
Who's the supervisor?
I don't know, it's a guy from Ohio. But he sees a different way, and
He's the head guy.
Oh, yeah, I know him. I
Yeah.
didn't know who the now, I knew who the head guy was. I didn't know who the supervisor was.
He's a doctor.
Yeah, is it
The
something?
supervisors that's having a problem.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a supervisor.
Maybe Kent needs to be told.
That's what I'm saying.
if anybody calls y'all, that's what it's about.
That's good to know.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, so we are
And
recessing. Do we have a motion to recess?
Motion, day to day. Recess a day to day or to a certain?
No, recess.
Just until that day.
Yes.
Unless there's a special meeting.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all.